But I guess gatekeeping could get down to more nit and gritty stuff too, right? I mean, when I say gatekeeping in this community, what do y'all think of?
People.
Ooh, this is a sit down cookout.
Something to talk about music.
Yes, sir. Bring the dominoes, because we are here. The spades, dominoes.
I'm a domino
Let's
dog
sit down.
for sure.
We family, right? We all family in this community. This is what we want to talk about. That is the sweet beat of Scarface on My Block. Classic, old school cookout type song where you can just chill. And this is that type of episode. We are the Undergated podcast presented to you by the Undergated Network. I am Coop at It's Coop. I got the homie down there, my brother Austin GUNPLA Tesseract, and my other brother from another mother, Chloe's dad, CD.
Yo.
Come together and unite as one every few days to make the Undergated podcast. Welcome for all the new subscribers. We appreciate it. Everybody that's new, hope y'all enjoy. Grab something to eat, grab something to drink, because we're gonna sit down and talk, man. Again, like I said earlier, we a family, ain't we? So we got some stuff to talk about. Sometimes you have to sit down with the family and air out some stuff, and that's what we're gonna air out. We're gonna air out some things. Nothing crazy though. Nothing crazy. And that's not me just putting that a disclaimer. And nothing crazy has happened for us to say, oh, we're gonna air this out and we're gonna talk about it. All right, but we're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk about it like family, the community. So stay tuned. Of course, as always. But before we get started, Happy Lunar New Year, the year of the dragon, to all my people over to the Far East. Happy Lunar
New
Year
to y'all. Happy New Year's to y'all.
Hope y'all enjoy.
Hope everybody's getting red envelopes over there. Enjoying some time. Food.
Absolutely. And last week we had a pretty banger episode, man. We sat down and discussed some things. And if you missed last week's episode, this is what y'all have missed.
Though, but he had I think his logo was a shark, but he has
one that was a unicorn.
He retired. Yeah, not the black Gym Sniper 2. He's like in 4th place for kills, but the top one was a guy who just drove a Gym Sniper 2, like green one with a custom rifle, and he had a confirmed 231 kills or something like that. So yeah, so he was top ace for Fetty, but nobody's making a book about him because I think
and that is what y'all missed last week. So definitely go check out last week's episode. We had fun sitting down, talking, discussing all of that. This week, of course, as always, if y'all don't know, for the new people, we are big on mental health. And we always start off the episode with a greeting. How's everybody's week been? Austin, how's your week been, man?
My week's been actually kind of wild. Work was pretty all right, and then it wasn't. And now it's more of a confusing mess of what are we doing? What is this? What's happening? And so we're all just kind of figuring it out as it goes. Family, some big shakeups happened, but nothing too much I want to go into here. And then some other stuff. It started out with such a great week. Everything was nice and calm, and then just everything got thrown at me on Wednesday of all days, and just kept throwing. Yeah, and it's only started to slowly calm down. So yeah, the week's been a week. The way this one ended, I'm looking forward to next week. Maybe that'll be better. Yeah.
I hear that. CD, how's your week been,
man? Not too bad. Work has been working. I'm slowly ready to go every day. I feel like I'm ready to just. I've had enough and walk out, but I got to get checked. So toughing through work. Family's good today. My team is on their quest for 6. Hopefully, we get the job done. I'm with him. So, as you can see, we're rocking here. I need all the other fans to come together and lift us up because we have to get rid of the script. Taylor Swift just announced an album in April. Please don't let her go out on a high note with this win. So. Other than that, though, man, it's been good. Life's been good. Family's good. I'm not sick. Chloe's not sick for once, so I'm ducking and dodging everything.
Yeah, that's good, man. Both of y'all. Hope this week, Austin, sending positive energy your way this week, big dog. Hopefully it goes out a little smooth. For me, it's been same rinse, wash, and repeat. Nothing too wild, man. Monday through Friday. I'm trying to think about it. Monday through Friday, yeah, nothing. Been sitting down and watching some I guess some classics to some. I watched Gladiator for the first time. It was okay. I discussed with my girl. She's like, "That's it's I think all 5 stars, right?" And I was like, "She's like, that's Russell Crowe's best movie." I'm like, I think he was better. And y'all tell me this. Don't sit back and think about it, right? Sit back and really think about it. It was about 50-50. I think his best role was in American Gangster as Richie. But she's like, he's not even a lead in that movie. Yes, Denzel was the main, kind of it was like 50-50. Like you got 50% of Russell Crowe's story and about 50% of Denzel's story. It wasn't like he was the side, like a B-list character in that movie. I think Russell Crowe was better as Richie in American Gangster than he was as Maximus in Gladiator.
I'm biased because American Gangster is one of my top 5 movies, so I definitely see that he's great performance. I think it's still maybe 60-40, Gladiator 60, Richie 40, but I definitely think that those are his top 2 movies for sure. American Gangster. If people haven't seen it, oh my god, please.
Yeah, crazy. It's a great movie.
Don't wear a fucking mink coat. Don't step out too flashy.
And maybe because I'm biased to the detective stuff and to Gladiator, you kind of knew it was going to happen. You kind of out 30-45 minutes and you're like, okay, yeah, he's going to get his revenge eventually. So yeah, and then but you didn't unless you knew about the Frank Lucas story prior to this, you kind of didn't know what was going to be the ending of American Gangster. So that's what makes it dope too. So check it out. What you think, Austin? American Gangster or Gladiator for Russell Crowe?
Well, I'll hold my vote because I've never seen American Gangster. I've only ever seen Gladiator. Good. So I would hold my vote. I would have to see American Gangster to really.
You have to sit down. American Gangster is Denzel and Russell Crowe. That's what it is. It's not it's like.
You know what's funny? I don't know what it is, and this was not on purpose, but I have not seen almost any Denzel Washington movie. I have almost watched any of his movies. Yeah, I think I've only ever seen one movie where he's in it.
All right,
best Denzel movie. Cool.
Wow. American Gangster's up there. Glory is good too. He should have got an Oscar for that movie. I'm not going to go typical Training
What's
Day.
the airplane? It was a pilot.
Flight.
That movie was good.
Was it Flight? Was it Flight?
Flight. Mm-hmm.
I like that shit.
Oh, okay. I've seen 2 Denzel Washington movies. My bad. I've seen Flight and I've seen Remember the Titans. And that was it.
Remember the Titans was good too. But probably those 2.
That was Black History Month. Leave your favorite Black Denzel movie in the comments too.
Absolutely.
If you're a Denzel fan.
Or favorite black actor. Why not?
Oh yeah, sure. Throw that out there. Yeah, favorite black actor. Favorite actor who so happens to be black.
To be black, right.
Right. We're not gonna goose next.
I can already see it now. Man, I loved it in that movie where Will Smith got on stage and slapped Chris Rock. It was great.
Well,
10 out of 10 stars. It seems so lifelike.
Right.
But that's what's up, man. Next up, we got, of course, as always, building and breaking down that backlog because it seems like we can never skip this segment. There's always something. When was the last time we had 3 strikeouts? When has this?
A while ago.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It didn't happen though.
A year.
Yeah, we were. I think we were also getting ready for Christmas too. I think it was
yeah, I was gonna say it had to be around the holidays. Poverty.
Yeah, because we were all spent out.
Building and breaking down that backlog. What's some new kits, some new stuff that's came in? I'll go nothing crazy. A little bit for me. It's not a kit. I picked up off of Amazon this Nindroid Sonic figure, which apparently is like the best Sonic figure to date. It's the Good Smile Nindroid. It's been released 4 times in the last like 14 years. This is how old this figure is. Hopefully it doesn't feel like 14, but I've been on a little Sonic kick, man. Got the Knuckles trailer announced. Got the
That shit was good.
Yeah, the Sonic and Shadow or Sonic Generations game that's coming out for the PlayStation that I've been kind of dying for the last 20 years almost. I've been wanting them to do a remake on the Sonic Adventures 1 and 2 of the first one, and it looks like it's going to be that. Only thing about it, if I have any gripe, is the fact that it's on the PlayStation. I wish it was on the Switch, so I could take it. That game feels like it would be really good on the Switch, on the go type of game.
Yeah, they might release it later on.
Yeah, if they do, I'm picking it up. I think I've picked up. Only ones I haven't picked up was like the weird Sonic games where he turns into like a werewolf.
You don't
but
like those.
Yeah, like the regular like Sonic Mania. I looked up and had it on a PlayStation 4, 5, Switch, Xbox without even realizing I had it all. So picked up Sonic, Good Smile figure. Got a kit coming in this week. So excited about that. That's it. That's all I got.
P Bandai kit?
Ooh.
Now that I think about it, yeah, I do have a P Bandai. I should have a P Bandai kit coming in this week too.
That's right. Yeah, it's February.
Same.
Yep.
CD?
What about CD?
Oh, my bad.
Man. Yeah. I got a few things, and not just books this time. So I did, like I said last week, I placed an order at New Type, so that finally came through. I got some Madworks sanding sponges. That's 320 grit all the way up to 1,000. I needed to replenish, which is nice, and there's 4 of each. So I usually use a lot. Every kit, sand your stuff, people, sand your stuff. But these, I love them because you can hold them in your hand. You can cut them up and like stick in them something and sand it down. They're super multi-purposeful, and they can bend too. So you need like round pieces,
edges.
Exactly. These I like use these, and then the Flex loops by Coop sponsor Gun Primer. Those are the ones I use. Come on, don't sleep on Gun Primer, folks. And then I did get some master guide lines for subscribing work I plan to do. So I'm getting back into building and stuff. So scribe heavy. Got 2 of these. And then I got a whole bunch of G Reworks decals. Origins Granddaddy, of course. GM Gun Cannon.
Was that the Master Grade Granddaddy?
High grade. And is that
everything's high grade?
Version 2?
Yep.
Version 2 one. Yeah, okay.
This is the GM Cannon. I don't have this, but I just wanted some of the decals. That's a lot of. I usually don't even go with the picture. I kind of just do my own custom placement. But another GM guard type set of decals. Ground Gundam decals. Some just generic markings, cautions, and then I did get some decals for the Tick Bang. I don't have this, but I wanted the caution marks and stuff to put on something. So this is coming soon. Yeah, Tick Belong. Dog, I just love reworks like this shit.
Yeah,
if they sold these individually, I would just buy them just to have. Like, I seen a homie put them in a folder. Like, I would love just flipping through those.
I think he'll make a lot of money if he sold them as prints.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was thinking the other day, I was like, dude, if he sold, because this is the EFSF, I don't know if you guys can see that, but like you get so small in detail where you got like words like you can illegibly read like down into the smallest amount, and you got like caution signs and everything like that. That's so good. If he sold these like in a store, it would be over.
I want him to just sell the prints. If he could sell those 11 by 17, like those pictures, I think I'll, just
put that shit on the wall.
On the wall, it will look crazy. It will look crazy.
Damn. So I did get some more books. Last week I was saying I was in the middle of one. I finished that one. I got the 3rd book in the series, Only Human. I finished this.
Damn.
Yeah. As you can see, I went to the library because I'm done trying to spend too much money on books. So went to the library, picked up 2 more. The first one's called The United States of Japan. It's like an alternative timeline of the United States would have lost and Japan took over because they had Gundams or mechs. So that's what that is right here. It's pretty good. I'm about half fight scenes. Like,
dope.
Oh my god, I want this as like a movie or a show. But halfway through this, and then I already have the second book to it called Mecha Samurai Empire. Slowly turning, this book is turning into one of my favorites. But I got about 6 more books I just ordered off Amazon because I couldn't find them in the library, and I'm like 117th on the hold list, so I'll just buy those.
Real quick, what was your goal of how many books to read by the end of the year again?
The first goal was 12.
Okay,
we need a running ticker now. At this point,
I've read 7 books. 5 books since February started. So, yeah, I'm at 7.
And we're the second month in, and you're already halfway past, like halfway.
Yeah, mind you, I feel like I said I'm gonna read that many books like July, like the last week of January. So, I've read 7 books in about 5 weeks.
Bro, you're gonna reach your goal by the end of March.
Yeah.
Damn.
If you stay at this pace, you're gonna reach your goal at the end of March because, halfway through May. Yeah.
He's already read 7.
Yeah.
And he has
over half.
4 of them right there in his hand.
Yeah. So if it's a month and a half to read 7, then another month and a half to read another 7, he'll be at 14.
It's hard, dog, because I'm working on like a build.
No, it's not.
What do you mean it's hard?
Yeah.
You just read
I didn't read. I haven't read for like 4 days.
No!
I can't read
and work. Oh my god!
Damn,
I haven't read in 4 days. How many books did he finish in? I don't know, 30 minutes. 7? Oh, he's fine.
All right, maybe I'm a little off. Sure.
That's
all I got.
That's it. Let us know in the comments down below, people, what y'all
TD.
picked up this week. We got a couple of dope people that's commenting every week, letting us know what they picked up. They're picking up some heavy stuff. Some heavy stuff. So next up,
and I also picked up some stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn. Oh, shit. You know what happened? The cough messed my whole shit up. When I started coughing, I was like, yo, my bad, Austin.
It's all good.
We have Austin here.
What you got, my brother?
Oh,
it threw me
boy.
off when Austin put up the decals. I'm thinking, oh, shit, he showed us the decals.
Let's see. What did I did get some stuff in from Vulcan Hobby.
My bad, Austin. Man.
Yeah, I know. I think he would be happy to know that we got stuff in. But so let me preface this with saying I did see the first 15 minutes of Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom. It is amazing. No, they actually released
6 minutes. Is the first 6-7 minutes of the fight scene? Okay,
yeah.
Kenneth told me that at Hobbytown.
Yeah, the first is where they're fighting pretty much all the djinns in the city. Yeah. So I saw the first 15 minutes. And as you guys know, I am a Seed fan. Oh my god, it's everything I wanted. It's just pure mecha fights, and the animation looks actually really good.
I was going to ask you about that right before. My fault for cutting you
sorry.
off. Is the animation to that? Are there different? Obviously, it's different studios or something. Does that animation is equivalent to Hathaway's Flash?
I would say,
or does it have its own little spin to it because it's Seed?
So Seed. So when it comes to UC animated suits, they move very mechanical. So there are like everything has kind of a pre-gestured movement to it. Right,
Yeah.
left, right. In Seed, the suits are a little bit more humanoid. So you can see, for example, Gundams like dual wielding sabers, but having like in the upside down position and making moves that usually like a samurai or a human would make, or stance as a human make. That's one reason why the Astray series works more in Seed, than it does in UC. So the animation in terms of how they move is a little bit more fluid than it is in the UC. But you could definitely tell if you watched it, and you could tell like, okay, this is not from this universe. They're very different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw the movie. I saw the first 15 minutes. I can't wait for the whole thing to release. And I was on a bit of a Seed kick, so I decided to grab a RG Strike. And everybody told me that this one is so and so. Like the actual Seed kit you would want in RG is going to be the not the Destiny, the one before the Impulse. Yeah,
that's Impulse gun.
yeah, anything in the Impulse would be better, but I am a huge fan of the Strike. So I said I'll just take the Strike anyway. I'm going to get on a seed kick anyway, and I have my master grade, perfect grade Strike, and everything like that I need to build. So might as well just finish out the roster here. Just have all Strikes all the time.
There you go.
And
that's
then
the first one, right? That's the very first suit he got in the series.
Yes, that is the very first.
I haven't really watched Seed, but I know that their Seed has add-on packs, right? Like the Ale Strike is. I thought that was
like Zoids.
Gundam.
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I thought the Ale Strike this whole time was like another mobile suit. Nope, it's just an add-on pack. It's a P Bandai. That's all it is. It's like you got the Strike and you got P Bandai.
Yep, you have the Strike, and then you have the backpack that makes it the Ale Strike, the backpack that makes it the Sword Strike, and the backpack that makes it the Launcher Strike. So, and all three backpacks make it the perfect Strike. And I have all of them because I love it. And then I decided to get something a little bit outside the box. So I have something that he sent me. It's going to be the Ho 229. It is the German all-wing fighter aircraft from World War II, and one of the first all-wing aircraft and one of the first jet fighters out there after the Me-262. But what's really cool about this kit is that you build it, and it doesn't look like that when you finish it. It actually is clear. So all the wings, all the stuff like that is completely clear. It's a clear kit. It's my first clear kit.
Oh, wow.
But all the internals are detailed.
That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah,
I've seen that before.
So you can build this thing and essentially have it in a manufacturer state of being built, and then put the clear parts on top of it if you want, or half clear, half not, or just have it exposed. It has a ridiculous amount of detail. I mean, literally, like down to the pulley system, so you can turn the ailerons and whatnot. So, like, this is insanely detailed. And it's almost intimidating a bit, but now that I have an airbrush, I feel like anything's possible, right? So I think I'm gonna try my best when I get around to it.
Is that the top or the bottom?
This right here. So
yeah.
So this part right here is just looking at face on, and that right there is the top.
Okay. Because remember last year we saw that, the jets and stuff like that. We was at ODO.
Mm-hmm.
It was the fighter jet.
Mm-hmm.
This is your lane. It was the one that was sitting on the mirror.
Yep, the F-35.
Yep, that was sick.
I had never seen that until I went to IPMS too, and people having their shit sit on the mirror so you can see the guts of it.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. The Bombay.
Crazy. That was nuts. That's dope.
Yeah, that was really well designed.
I'm glad to see you branching off into like those type of kits,
especially because you love the aviation fight shit too.
Well, I used to build them back in a long time ago when I was a kid. I just wasn't good at it, and now I feel like I'm a little bit better at a stage of it where I can actually attempt it, and they actually look pretty good. Like the ones I built, sure, they look like airplanes, but they look like an airplane that a 13-year-old assembled.
And I forgot to ask you this question the other day, Austin, when we was talking about Top Gun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather, and if people are new here, Austin's a real big fan of aviation, fighter planes, fighter jets, and stuff like that. Would you rather be a pilot for, like, again, didn't know the Navy really had like fighter jets like that, right? I thought it just kind of worked together with the Air Force with the land and the jet, Air Force jet on top of a Navy cruiser. Mm-hmm. Would you rather be a naval, just like in Top Gun, or would you rather be in the Air Force?
That's a really tough question. One that actually I really thought about coming out of high school, because the Navy flies more than the Air Force, believe it or not. The Navy actually is the second largest air force in the world. The first largest air force is the United States Air Force, right? And the Navy actually flies more. I know, right? The Navy flies more hours on their jets, so pilots have more flight time. The Air Force, they don't have as much flight time, but
you think that's due to like water, like them flying over like dead time, like kind of like if I'm flying over a large body of water, obviously it's when I want to be needing more time in the air than someone in the Air Force.
It's more about deployment and forces. So, for example, if something is wrong in the Middle East, it takes a long time for us to move all of our logistical equipment for United States Air Force stuff over there to find a base where jets can fly out there within their range, instead of just driving a carrier there and then having the carrier do air operations. So that's kind of the reason why. I mean, right now in the Middle East, I think the Houthis are getting bombed right now, but that's because they just plopped 2 carriers over there, right? And the Air Force had to fly B-1Bs from the U.S. bases, I think it was a 36-hour round trip all the way there to drop something and then come all the way back. So If I was given the choice, sorry, got off topic there. If I was given the choice, man, and naval fighter pilots are a little bit more legendary than Air Force pilots, but I think it would be the Air Force pilot because I could fly the F-22 Raptor, which would be one of the coolest planes ever. So,
do they fly different planes too?
Yeah, I'm about to say the Navy don't have that.
Yeah. So, the Navy right now, like I said, I think I told CD before, this has become an aviation podcast. This is my favorite. This is the best.
This is for me cutting you off of building and breaking down a backlog.
No. I love it. This is my other favorite topic. So the U.S. Navy, as I told CD, they only fly one type of aircraft, really. Right now, the U.S. Navy they have a couple planes. They have the F-18, which is their main workhorse. It was the F-18 Super Hornet, technically. Then they have the F-35C, which is the carrier version of the F-35. Coop, the one that you saw at IPS, was the F-35A, but it was a Norwegian variant. And then the Navy flies the Skyhawk and the V-22 Osprey with that. So there are some machines that cross over between them, but in terms of those machines that cross over, it's the F-35 that they fly a different variant, and the V-22 Osprey, and that's about it.
And obviously, those type of planes and jets, they're not for any branch built to travel long distance. Like you can't take when you like a 36-hour flight, they're not flying over the Atlantic Ocean with that shit. Not in a fighter jet.
A fighter jet can do it, but it's kind of a waste of time because usually when you fly that large, you want a large bomber or something that can take a lot of ordnances in one trip. So it'll be like a B-1B, a B-2, a B-52, something very large would do those long round trips.
AC-130.
Yeah, the AC-130. The AC-130 probably won't be going either.
That's all I know. Enemy AC-130.
But yeah,
I know.
They fly different planes. There are some crossover here and there. I mean, the Marines fly the F-35B variant. The Air Force flies the F-35A variant, and the Navy flies the F-35C variant. So there is some crossover, but for the most part, they do have different planes. Yes.
Okay, and the fighter jet can't make a normal fighter jet. It can, but typically doesn't, like from here to Europe and across the Atlantic.
Yeah, it can. It's just usually a mission would not last that long for any fighter plane. I mean, any plane that's doing air dominance too, because
you said like 36-hour. It was a 36-hour flight. I'm assuming they're flying to meet a carrier somewhere out in the middle of the ocean.
Bombers? No. Bombers will do aerial refueling. So they'll meet up with a tanker mid-air, link up, and then refuel air, and then.
This shit always looks crazy, dog. Having to like.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, back in Alaska, they used to give trips on the KC-135s, and I used to go back there with the boom operator as a kid and watch the boom operator connect to fighter jets and refuel them and tank and other airplanes. They were training with the Polish, so I got to see MiG-29, so Russian aircraft that had the probe system, but the Polish ones connect to aerial refillers, at the time.
And that is your Air Force Navy segment. Don't forget to watch Top Gun Maverick. That is right now on Amazon Prime.
Good movie. The second one had some weird stuff, but good movie.
Up next, we're going to do it is what's cooking, what kits that we have built or plan on building, and these guys are levels ahead of me right now because I've cut up at Hobbytown. I was able to sit down. I cut up the GM guard, custom guard, whatever. CD has the show them the picture. CD, you got the G reworks right there, right? You got the one with the big shield. I'm just at a standstill right now because I don't know what color scheme to give it. Y'all know I'm not really good at custom color schemes. For people out there, I try to do like a recoloring of a kit if it's not a darker or lighter version of it. Sometimes I don't do a whole lot of customization, so I've hit a stump in the wall. So I'm working on that right now as something because the fellas are doing GMs, or Austin already did his Moroccan front, and CD is working on a GM. So I said it's my turn to start on a GM. I have cut up. Some of them is out right now. This is how I organize. I go to Hobby Lobby people, because we don't gatekeep around here. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And grab these plastic craft organizers. This is the Sotheby, because the clear one, which is that P Bandai we was just talking about, should be coming in the mail this week. I want to show y'all the difference though. Let me see if hopefully y'all can tell on camera. I have the Studio G dark iron versus the normal plastic. So here's the normal plastic. Hopefully y'all be able to tell on this camera. Right, that's the normal plastic, right? This is right out of the box, cut up. Here is the Studio G dark iron over this plastic. So with Studio G paint, you don't need to prime it. You know, it's lacquer. Just pour it straight into the bottle, spray right on the piece if you want to. This is the bottom of the foot. Come on. Let me see if I have a bigger piece. Pause. Oh. No, that's maybe if I put two of them together. Maybe there we go. So you can kind of tell the difference.
G in the back?
Yeah, both of them are Studio G.
Yeah.
I think it's the lighting. Okay. You can tell the difference, right? This one has that like a bluish hue to it, and it's Studio G. So I'm gonna try to do like details, like right here in these circles under the feet and stuff like that.
The little raised surfaces.
Yeah, but that's what I've been working on.
I love some primerless paint. Just spray and go.
Right. Studio G paint is really good. SMS, of course.
Now for that paint that you said doesn't need thinning, it still would be beneficial to put some airbrush thinner in your airbrush, right? Just a little bit of airbrush thinner, just to have it go.
You can, or just raise your PSI just a little bit, so push a little more air to it. That works too. Airbrush thinner does work, so you don't have to raise your PSI, and you don't have to worry about it coming out too thick.
I think it's just also an extra step too that you really don't necessarily need, such as thinning out something that's already pre-thinned, because I don't know what the ratio they use, and I don't want to like mess up the color. Maybe if I pre-thin it, but it sprays out of the bottle like CD said. If you raise the PSI up.
Cool. Only reason I asked is because I thought I broke both of my airbrushes at one time. The hobby airbrush, I pushed back and it would slowly come back to on. Yeah, and I was like, oh no. And I just put an airbrush thinner in it, and next thing you know, it went away. So I was like, oh my god. And then you
got the lube?
Huh?
You got the lube?
No,
for
not
it?
yet.
Yeah.
Pause, but not yet. Yeah. But the Iwata, I saw Coop's face, and he was just like, boom. But the Iwata was jammed full open, so even without my finger on it, the air was
coming out of it. Yep.
Yeah, and it went loose, and I was just like, oh no. But put some airbrush thinner, took it out, cleaned it a bit.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I've been working on. The guard custom. I built another little quick rock dial for toy photography, more of like a black base, so for like street and rock type of stuff.
You did release that picture, that the blue Vegeta.
Yeah, the blue Vegeta picture. That's just me dropping something so I could kind of like stay consistent on it. I wasn't really proud of the picture, but it was just like me. You know what? I have people tell me all the time, man, just put it out there. Consistency. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. But yeah,
not every post has to be a masterpiece.
That's true too. That is a big hurdle to climb, but that is also true too. But that's it, Austin. What you been working on? So I don't skip you this time, Austin. What you got going on?
So just more and more of the Spartan. I'm almost done with it. I just have to do the decals. Then we have to do a little bit of cleanup here and there. And I've learned a lesson, a very strong lesson. If you're going to varnish the kit, make sure you don't varnish the area where the kit's going to be rubbing up against stuff or joints when you're putting it back together, because they are not going to come back together. It's just going to be too hard and too thick, and then you're going to overstress the plastic, and then you're going to think that, oh, I can just take the scribing tool and wedge something out. That's going to slip, go off out into space, and then have a gash straight across the arm that's deep enough where you could fly an airplane through it. So that happened, but the leg's all right. Legs doing good.
Looks good. That looks good.
Yeah, legs looking pretty good right now. All the decals that I felt comfortable doing. These Child of Mecha decals are actually really good. You can even read that actually if you get close enough. but which is pretty crazy. And then and then that's pretty much the Team Spartan. And what else have I been doing? I've been doing something else.
Congrats on
you need to
hitting
do-
600 too, by the way, Austin.
Yeah, that's
Oh, thank you.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I didn't even notice I hit it. I didn't even notice I hit really 500 really, and I was telling y'all guys about that. I was like, wait, what the heck? I have 600. Let me. Oh snap! But yeah, this is pretty much decals.
You need to do the I think you have it, the full armor RX, and that.
Yeah,
color
actually,
scheme. You need to
I'm looking
pair
at it right there.
You need to pair both of those together.
Yeah,
Those
no, I was
two.
thinking about
That
that
would
because
be dope.
I have the mix right behind me too. So I was thinking like, well, if I have mix ready to go, I might as well just paint the
Paint that
former
green.
because it's not all green. It's mostly green, but not all of it green. So yeah.
That'd be dope to see both of those two. Need one of y'all. Maybe nah. Do I got that type of green? Maybe I'll turn the GM guard. Maybe
Green?
I'll do like a Halo thing.
Halo theme. Yeah.
Master
Yo,
Chief,
dude,
you got a visor, everything.
Yeah,
Dude, you can send yours. We'll do a picture with yours, CDs and mine, and we have that cinematic photo. We'll put that out.
Yeah,
and then just
there we
put
go.
like the Undergated coming summer, yada yada yada.
Maybe I'll do that military kind of color scheme for the guard with a copper visor. Yeah, we'll see.
Have you guys seen those GMs that have like the holographic visor that people put on them, the model kits? Do you know what those are? Is that just stuff of tape or something film?
Yeah, someone said it was like something for a film.
For film.
There is a GM like that holographic that you put underneath. You haven't seen those before?
Yeah.
No.
I think it was made.
I've seen the one there's like they're blue. Some people turn it blue. Some people turn it orange.
Yeah.
But it looks crazy on a camera.
Something
like
they use for like a camera. Because I forgot who I was seeing. Reading subtitles, but he was like, "Yeah, this is from a camera."
And I think it was like it makes it look like an oil slick or Arctic oil slick or something like that. They call the color, and it's all fluorescent. And I was looking at trying to get that, and I was like typing in holographic film, and you'd be surprised at how much is not the thing I'm looking for.
Right.
And I'm like, all right.
I was like on Pinterest trying to find this Gundam. I'm like blue, yellow, master grade RX-78. And it was everything but what I was looking for. Like I kept typing out like fully customized RX-78 dashes, blue and yellow, trying to find this one picture.
And you're just like sitting there scrolling
for hours,
bro. And I've seen some people who have the Hobby Hyzac already, and they put like that film on the eye, and when they take pictures, it's so reflective from the eye, it looks like it's on. And I was like, bro, what? All right, I got to get my hands on this if I can find it. But as a matter of fact, let me see. I got this one up right here. Here we go. Coop, if you could bring this up, that'd be great. But it's this one right here. I'm trying to talk. That right there. That's crazy. I don't know how he got that look on the visor. That's insane. That is so cool.
Could that be underneath the visor?
It could be. It could be underneath the visor.
Like a lifted piece with white and yellow, and then over, and then put the orange, like a clear orange over it, over the visor.
The only thing that would sway me away from that, I mean, it could be. The only thing that sways away from that is that you see such organic reflections in it that push me to believe that it's something that's reflecting light as evenly as it's coming in. And maybe it's under the visor because the visor is orange, I think, on the Jesta, if I remember correctly. So the light is just sending out is just literally what we're seeing, just more reflective. Like it's reflecting more than 90% of the light going into it, which is crazy.
Beautiful.
It does, doesn't it? This looks amazing. This might be one of the best Jestas I've ever seen.
Here we go. Is this it? Is this it? This could be it. It's called Aurora Film, fellas.
Aurora Film.
From, let me pull it up. This is by Delpy Decal. I'm assuming this is what y'all are talking about. It's Aurora Film Gold.
Okay.
I used to see it all the time. Like that. Then you place this underneath the visor.
Oh, okay.
And it gives you that.
Okay. It looks like that. Yeah, it looks kind of like that.
I'm trying to see if they got like a better picture of it. Like, of course not. Whoa. Yeah, you place it under the visor, and you could changes colors when you look at it. I know I've seen it somewhere before, and I was like, "That's a little too much," is what I said. But that's back then when I wasn't like going crazy. I was like, "Damn, yo." So you can definitely look into that.
Yeah, I definitely will, because I'm building all these gins now, and I'm just realizing it would be really cool if I could have one with a really dope looking visor.
There you go.
Gotcha.
You know what to do. Well, that's CD. What you been cooking on? I was about to wrap it up. My fault, CD. My fault, CD.
We keep it short and quick.
Y'all go first. I'll go last.
Saying,
I know I ain't gonna skip my damn.
Well, kind of on this GM kick. I'll just drop this. I know it's not a GM shield, but it goes on a GM kit. So this is the color scheme for the next quick project I've been working on. It's all painted, except for the weapons anyway. Decals maybe today, maybe pick sometime this week. This is actually for all my folks in Seattle. Stray, GT, we see him. He's a friend of the pod, always comments. Charles Young, I believe he's in Washington, Seattle as well. This weekend, the 17th, Saturday and Sunday, at the Museum of Flight, we're doing another Gundam or Model Expo, along with Cobra Paw, GUNPLA Customs, Han GUNPLA. A lot of the local builds up here are going to have a display table of all types of Gundams from all different eras. So come look at the airplanes, come look at the model tanks, model planes. It's at the Museum of Flight, so bring the family, see the airplanes, spaceships. It's at Boeing, so you can see like the space shuttles and everything. But stop by, come see the Gundams, come see your boy, come see the Undergated. So
there we go.
Check in.
That's this February 17th, so a few days after this drops. This drops on Valentine's Day, actually. Now that I think about it. So happy Valentine's Day, people.
Nice.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And then we have
that color scheme. That color scheme was one of the ones I was thinking about for the Zeta. Dude, yeah, that thing looks sick. Yeah, that's gonna look
Carolina
sick.
blue.
Sick. Yeah.
Next up, we have what's new. Some things that are coming out. Potential kit of the year. Do we have a potential kit of the year?
Man, we've had like 3 potential kits of the year.
Has it already been dethroned?
And none of them have been Bandai.
And none of them have been Bandai. That's crazy.
Yes, it has.
Crazy.
That Stein has. It's definitely up there.
Crazy.
Try to pick up right where we left off. We were on Gunpla Nerd, I believe. We got
Finally. Oh my god. Oh my god!
Since they gave us the full mechanics, we were like, okay, this has to be coming down the pipe.
This has to be. This has been like, people have been wanting this ever since its inception in Seed. Back like when it was released back in 2007, when that like secondary episodes were ever released. Everybody has been wanting this. I don't know why.
And this being the
Sword Calamity.
Sword Calamity.
Full mechanic Sword Calamity, guys. We've been asking for this for a while. Now, granted, the color's a little bit more orange for those listening than it usually is. It should be redder than this, but I think everyone's
Bandai version of this.
Yeah, of the Calamity Gundam. Yeah, and everyone has been asking for this. I'm shocked that it took this long. Honestly, I am. And this not only this, but there will be another kit we talk about later on that is shocking that it took this long.
Do you think it took this long because of the movie?
It could be. Yeah, they could have been pushed back because of the movie. They wanted to release it during Seed Mania.
And because the Calamity came out 2 years
This was the first. It's 2021. This is the first 100 scale kit I ever painted. So
which makes sense because aren't they dropping a clear version of the regular one?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
put it back in print.
Now it makes sense. Yeah, it came back in print. Let's Bandai. What else can we do, right? Metallic version coming soon. So
they didn't have to change too much, too. There's probably like 20%.
Yeah, and the sword there from the Destiny. Matter of fact, they if you scroll through the pictures, they can even connect. And there's a special beam effect part where both of them will connect through it. They'll have 2 beams. They also get the there it is.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's just cool. Yeah.
Is it a pickup?
I really want to.
Yeah.
Full mechanics pickup?
I really want to. I got to see what the price is. Because
should it be 60, 50 yen?
50 yen.
I wanted $60, I would assume. How much is the Calamities?
Calamities like
that's like
Like 50.
No, they go for about $60 to $70, right? 74
do?
for that
The
new
Calamity?
one. That
The
what's
Calamity?
that? Well, the
Oh, you mean the
It was
Raider?
about 65. Raiders dog.
This
That's
was the
on
most
sale.
expensive one.
That's just $25
Mm.
everywhere. That shit did not
This
move.
was the most. No, it did not. And this is the most expensive one too, which is crazy.
That shit is. I see people trying to give it away during the holidays.
this will look dope though.
65.
This will look dope with some decals. Like if somebody really put in the work, this will look sick. I like the orange. I like how Gundam sticks to the. They don't give up on that orange scheme. Like the orange, even like the prototypes.
Every Gundam series got an orange kit.
got something orange in it. So let us know in the comments if it's a pickup for y'all. It was Sword Calamity. Then we got some more pictures of the Monster Hunter Zoid crossover. This looks dope, but it's just not my steez.
Nah, it's not my. This took too long.
Too long, bro.
This is the Lefrith pre-production, $24 US. Okay.
This took forever.
That's right, because this is not coming out in Japan. This is a American kit only, US kit only.
Yep, and what's crazy is that this kit was so people have been wanting this kit since day one, and everyone knew this.
People already made 3D.
Yeah, there's people who already built this with a 3D printed parts like set that was released.
Is this in the episode 0?
Yes, this is
okay.
Yeah, and they should have been getting destroyed.
I feel like they dropped the ball on this.
Yeah, this should have been P Bandai day one, or at least week 1, or maybe episode 1. It already released. It's already on P Bandai right now. So if you want to pick it up, just go to P Bandai right now as of recording and see it. It might be sold out when this is released. I have already picked up mine. I was gonna buy 2 of them, but I think I'll just wait for the second wave.
What makes this dope for you?
Just the color scheme, the beam rifle, the overall aesthetic, and those weapon packs on the back.
The head is looking wild.
The head is dope.
But I know V-Fan. I mean, granted, I know it's pre-production. That looks sick. I didn't know it did all that.
Yeah.
It looks pissed, bro. And that beam rifle to me looks better than most of the beam rifles in
almost all of them. Almost all of them. Yeah. I think the Farak, if you cut off the muzzle brake at the very end, it looks all right. But this is the best beam rifle out of all of them. And you get all those sub weapons and the attached versions that are getting ready to detonate as well with it. You get a lot with that kit. But that overall color scheme too is cold as mess. What is it? That dark teal blue with white, yellow, and black accents. That's sick. And can you imagine just painting inside this little backpack here? You can paint everything in there to maybe a dark gray, mechanic gray, probably go with some gunmetal bits to accent some highlights, maybe the parts that open the pillars and whatnot. And then on the outside, when you paint and you add some shadow panel lining here to the panels out here for the dark blue for the closing operation, dude, it's gonna look amazing. It's gonna look amazing.
Then we got the P Bandai, another Wish for Mercury
All right,
kit.
I didn't, but
what's up?
I didn't need this one.
I was surprised that this people were actually asking for this one though. I was surprised. A lot of people were celebrating this as well because they wanted the shield. The shield has its own firing bits out of it. Yeah. I was surprised people wanted this.
Speaking of shield, watching that little 6-7 minute clip of Steve Freedom, the Gian did look. It was a little dope scene with that.
That shit was cold, wasn't it?
It was cold. I give you that. I was like, all right, that was doper than what I thought it was going to be. So, just speaking of shield, this is the U.S. again. Apparently, there is an update. P Bandai Japan will release this model kit in May. So that was for both the Lefrith pre-production and this one is the Hingra, Heingra.
Yeah, and a little bit more on that controversy. Apparently, it was a U.S. exclusive, but it went on the website early. So a lot of people got to look at it early. Then they took it down, and then apparently Bandai just decided to just throw it right back out there, literally the next day, and make it for sale. I don't know, something up with the P Bandai, I guess, scheduling, or maybe the site.
I'm getting burnt out of these Wish for Mercury kits, man.
Well, this is the last one, so you're good. This is it. This is literally it.
We got more pictures of the Choo Choo Figurized Standard Kit. What's her real name? I'm not Choo Choo.
Her name's Choo Choo. Her name's Chuchu.
No, it's
She's an earthling.
Chuarity. Chuarity. CHUATURY.
You would rather say Chuarity than Choo
I
Choo?
just wanted her to know what her real name. I get it.
Okay.
It's short. Choo Choo, sure. I'm just wanting to know what her real name was. Comes with a cell phone. People love this kit. I mean, y'all already know how my take on it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Is it again? I don't know if it's just because it's like a anime and an Asian theme. I can only imagine if this character was in like an American movie, would she be like the favorite character? People really like the squat pose.
In the anime, yeah, she's essentially so in Japan you always have that rebellious character, the one who is always squatting saying kundere, right, stuff like that. So this is essentially that character. And Gundam has had maybe one or two of these type of characters, but this is probably the most posed physically one. Like oh, she's short, small, wears pink, but she'll punch anybody in the face. Yeah.
You think her to be with all the pink, the sweet, charming, but she got a foul mouth and a hard right hook.
Yeah, that's what makes her endearing.
P Bandai G frame of the Defender. Nobody's getting this. Metal built robot spirit. P Bandai Tamashii Nations of the Destiny Gundam Spec 2.
From the movie Seed Freedom. It looks better. I was never a fan of the Destiny. This one looks better. I'm still not a huge fan of the Destiny, but it looks better. I'll give him that.
Destiny is a sleeper for one of the best high grades.
I have that one.
Effect parts crazy.
Effect parts for it looks crazy. Is this a weapon pack for it? Oh,
yeah. So this is a silhouette. So essentially a weapon pack, and essentially makes it a AOZ kit.
Jesus.
Tiny legs. I mean, really long legs with tiny feet and a big gun. It's an AOZ kit. But this is what is it called? This Vulture silhouette or
it's my fault. This is the Zeus.
Zeus. There we go.
It's a tough name.
Sheesh. That is. It looks dope though.
The Zeus silhouette.
Gun is huge and it's all metal, dude. How are you gonna apparently it should come with a separate stand that helps you stand the gun up when you're pointing.
So is these add-ons? Is this a whole nother like figure, or is it just like?
Oh, it's just that. It's that right here. This right here.
Damn. So you put this on top of it.
Yeah.
Imagine how much that shit weighs with all that on it.
Exactly. That's a lot of metal.
Dude.
Wow. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. Kind of like the real pictures of it.
Huge. Good lord.
With the effect piece. That look now that's something that you put on your that's some shelf presence right there.
Yeah.
If I've ever seen this
display case with that background too.
Damn.
Jeez, it's huge.
And here it is. People, the monument, right? Isn't that what it's called? Studio G. Weird Studio PG 1/60th scale monument repair type, which is just the Toggies mixed in with a little bit of Toggies 3.
This was the Frosty Cat frame. That big ass kitten gun mobile suit. This shit looks cold. I'm not gonna lie.
It does.
Does
this look better than the GPO2? This looks better than the GPO2.
Aesthetically, yeah, I would agree. This looks better. I think mechanically, from what we see from the GPO2, I need to see what's mechanically in this because that spinning mechanism for the gun linkage of the GPO2, that still has me reeling, bro. That still has me great. But
this is 160, bro. It's crazy. This is 100. This is PG size.
And $150.
Now, Coop, if I remember correctly, you weren't too enthused about this when the first time you saw it. What changed your mind?
I'm a big fan of the Toggies. I'm not saying I'm going to get it. I'm just going to kind of like out of the third party.
Okay. Because I figured you would jump on this because it's essentially the Toggies.
I might get it. I mean, it's just like I'm running out of space, man. Like I'm not even want my first PG, right? Like let alone it would be like the 5th PG in line, right? Like, golly. But it does look dope. I like the black and white aesthetic. I wish the tall geese was more of this colorway. Like, I like this colorway for sure. I know that tall geese is more of a white and black, but I like the like 50-50, kind of like a cookies and cream type of look to it. And the gun looks dope too with it. Now these third parties, if anybody want to step it up, put some fucking sounds in these shits. Like if this gun opened up and it had like a like it's about to fire off, you might get me on that.
Bro,
Like,
Bandai would be suing the fuck out of everybody because they are not able to keep up with this shit. They're too busy giving us these fucking metal builds and Winter Mercury kits that we
you got the production
years ago. While these third party kits can focus on one thing and perfect it.
Yep. And they're giving us Bandai's giving us the kits we've been asking for. I think as a way just to catch up, be like, oh god, we should just start doing what people are asking so they don't leave us here, because all these third parties are now doing exactly what they're asking.
All the kits we've been hollering for all these years, the third parties are like, well, shit.
Let me ask you this though. But even though the third party, I know it's a little running joke we have in the community when it's like, oh, third party, Bandai better watch out. Should they? Should Bandai really watch out? If Bandai is the NFL, do you think the NFL cares about the best player in the US? What is it? USFL? You think Bandai should really like? No, like Bandai is top of the line. They don't give a rat's ass about these third party kits, other than somebody else is making money off of their design.
So they just released the top franchises in the world, and Gundam currently is sitting at 8th as the most profitable franchise in the world. So I think Bandai doesn't really, like, this is a drop in the bucket. If they lose market share on this, they probably wouldn't care in the world, right? The only thing I would say though is that things always seem fine until they aren't, and sometimes there's no telling when that happens. And all I can say is that you can start seeing waves getting a little bit higher on the shore here. And China, when it comes to manufacturing, is no joke. I mean, the amount of anime scale figures that they make that are out of license is insane. So all it takes is for one little wave to crack the shore. And
that's true. But I think that for Bandai to really be like, okay, let's see what's going on over here. Let me like Roger Goodell, let me turn on the TV and let me see what's really going on in the USFL, right? Mm-hmm. Is if one company starts putting out a decent amount of third-party kits all the time, not just one-off, not like, oh, the GPO2 master grade and there's a one-off. I'm talking about if that company starts ripping out, not even like the line that's been going on with the Glory, the Thor, right? Not even that line. That's 4 or 5 kits in a year. I don't think it has to be like Kotobukiya in a Gundam version of Kotobukiya. Yep. Like Hobbytown has to start selling
gonna be able to match
50 of these kits.
Of Bandai, because they're a conglomerate. They already have factories. Well, these third parties, they're small. I think Bandai doesn't care because they're Bandai. Like you're saying, they're going to be rich. But I do think they're noticing.
Yeah, and you can tell they're noticing sometimes because they go over, like the NFL and the USFL, is that they'll go over and they'll start picking up certain pieces that they think will do pretty good. So Bandai tends to do that sometimes. They'll go over and they'll poach a couple people and say, "Hey, we like what you do. Come work for us." And that's actually a very valuable strategy, And I
think it's happening more because just since we've been podcasting, I mean, third party's already been third party, but in the last 3 years,
it's been.
I mean,
the
bond's been here, but
that non-Bandai page on Gundam Planet is getting a lot larger. It used to be 2 pages deep. Now it's like 6.
Next up, we have the Good Smile Madroid.
Baby feet.
Tight.
I love what someone said. It's a AOZ version of the Farak Gundam. It's just tiny feet, big old giant legs with big guns. I actually want this.
Yeah, this is.
I like the color scheme on it too. This is
And what is this?
This is the Madroid Taita Makaya side GR Vogels. The green, for the people that's listening on Spotify, it's like a military-esque heavy weapon system type of. Okay.
Oh, yeah. The only thing I don't like about this is if you look at the hip joint. If you look at the hip joint, the where his leg connects to the hip, there's that gold ring. If you look at it, right where the thighs are, upper thighs, that gold ring. I need to paint that dark gray or black because I don't know why on earth it's gold. Why would you have gold on a military unit anywhere? But yeah, on a strictly military color. The gun? It looks like it.
Well, I'm just talking about like that gold, like the gold.
No, it's a turbine. It's supposed to be like a turbine or something like that. I took a look at the closer pictures, but you would never paint a turbine gold. There's a reason why jet engines aren't paint gold on the inside.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, terrible idea.
Here's the Black Luster Soldier kit posted up with a card, which is dope. Somebody painted it because that's not the right out of the box, but it looks dope. SD Heroes.
Somebody out there likes this.
Somebody goes crazy for these kits, just like we will go crazy for a new, that GPO2 third party kit. There's somebody out there that's doing third parties of these.
A part of me thinks that it's just so cheap to make that all they need is like a small group of people who are dedicated to it, and there you go. That's your profit margin.
Maybe it's something out there that we just don't know. Maybe this is a really good show.
Have you been in the store and seen anybody buy any of these ever?
No, I have.
Not a single one.
I have. It was 2 females and a kid. So I always thought it was more of a girl kit type of thing. Like more girls buy it because I saw it. I could be wrong. Could be very wrong, but don't know.
And another one. I think that's what it's supposed to be. The Gundam Aerial.
And what is this? This is the SD Gundam. What is it? SD
Ansamitsu. Gundam Aerial.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just. I have extra SD aerial parts. Let's see what we can do.
We'll make it look cool. Third party
real grade,
high grade.
This that real grade that we was talking about a couple of episodes back.
Yep, it's called like the what is it, like C grade or something.
Waist is too thin, chest is too flat, but everything else looks good.
Robot Spirits Force Impulse.
It looks mean.
Yeah, at this point, Bandai, come on now.
That stance looks mean.
Fight back.
I know, right? I think that's what it is. We just want Bandai to fight back because we would love to buy an official Bandai kit so we know the quality we're getting. But this is
you don't have to worry about fitment issues.
I'll keep it in this pose right here and don't touch it.
Right. For those listening, we're just looking at even more pictures of the perfect grade tall.
Like you said, like 150.
150 ain't bad compared to like 300.
Shout out to the homie Wilton. He said he's already pre-ordered on USA Gundam and it came out to be 173 after shipping and tax and stuff. So
still
that's already on that's the thing. I can't do it on USA.
You know what's crazy? USA apparently probably didn't even have like the actual listing. They're just waiting for the listing to come in so they can actually order it.
Yeah.
So they sometimes pre-order stuff before they have it.
I'm a droid, good smile. Good smile, Madroid. And this, I don't even know what this is. Another third-party kit, pending license. Yeah, like you care.
I think it's Getter Robo
Arsenal.
Yeah,
I think it's from Getter Robo. I could be wrong though, but Getter Robo is a pretty dope series. If you get a chance, check it out.
Orange Cat Industries, sort simply.
Another good. Orange Cat has been kind of showing up people. A lot of their kits have been pretty dope.
Gundam Amazing Barbatos Lupus metallic with a Planet CD included.
K-pop or J-pop CD.
Go for it. And that's it for your what's new. A lot of good stuff coming out.
Decent amount.
Is this rival? And this we want to know. People who's already on it. People already claimed the GPO2.
I gotta see more about it, man. That GPO2 looks like a master grade. I feel like this might be a large high grade. But if that's the case, we'll see what happens.
You think that was a large high grade? Hold on.
The orange cat was like a
I
increased
did see some
mastery, I guess.
pictures of like an inner frame layered.
And you did.
There it is. Never mind. There we go. That's good. That is good. I'm just shocked, Coop, that you like this.
Yeah, I
Like-
do. I do like it because I'm a Tall Geese fan. I am a
But-
Tall
So,
Geese fan.
so
a
you
Gundam Wing
telling me
fan.
this is Stein still beating this out for Kid of the Year?
Yeah, Stein beating this.
This is what I was talking to Marvin about. I'll meet y'all in the middle. Bandai's Kid of the Year is going to be the Stein. Third party
Okay.
Kid of the Year will be this.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll meet you.
What's the best model Kid of the Year?
There's offensive rookie of the year and there's offensive rookie of the year.
Offensive
Go
player of
against
the year.
offensive player of the year. That's not fair.
Offensive rookie of the year can win player of the year. It is
It
open.
can't- Jim Brown was the last one to do that, buddy. When he was a rookie.
Yeah, and he was great. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're having another Jim Brown situation right here.
But that's
This
just to
is-
show you we're only in February and we've already potentially 3-4 kids of the year already. Just imagine what we're
Dude.
looking at.
I think it's going to
Dude,
slow down eventually. I
CD,
think-
you are 100% correct because it what is it? Amazing Hobby is happening right now in Japan, and they're releasing all the new future kits for the for not only building Plamo but also the scale modder figures and Nendoroid figures. Bro, some of the stuff they've been releasing looks insane. So CD, you're
Right.
right on the point. This might be a really good year for Plamo builders. This might be
Yeah.
fantastic.
We just the year's just going on. Just we'll revisit this in like July, and those won't even be in the top 5 or something. We'll have some crazy shit. So
Dude,
Well,
there'll
we'll
be
see.
a perfect grade Dendrobium.
Damn.
might as well get in
Damn.
that shit and drive it. Fuck.
Right. Right.
Next up, we have Hold That Thought. Not a whole lot for Hold That Thought. Y'all have anything? This is the segment where we step away from Gundams.
Our Super Bowl takes.
Super Bowl takes, I think.
Spread
Oh,
is 2 points. If I was a betting man, I would. That wasn't a 49.
You are a betting man.
Not on my team. Not on my team. I'm not going to say that because I want to put no smut. 49ers -2. Right, baby.
There we go. Hold That Thought, though. I know a couple weeks ago somebody left a comment. No, we did not talk about something I'm going to pick up, which is the Dragon Ball Z game that's coming out. The new one that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
At Budokai, almost like Budokai Tenkaichi 4. A couple of dope, like they dropped the trailer, some of the character list, 100 characters. It's going to be well over. It might be a game where I'm picking up twice. So I'll probably pick it up on a 5 and pick it up on a Switch.
I got back to
Okay.
playing Tekken. Tekken just came out maybe like a week or two ago.
Yeah, Tekken. They put Cisco in Tekken.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Tekken
that's
is
all
fake.
you really need to know.
King.
Oh yeah,
Every time I see
I
him,
used to run with
I just
Paul.
turn the
My
game.
brother will run with King. I will run with Paul.
turn the game
on
off
Tekken.
because he has a chain of fucking body slams and rolls and shit. If he catches you in it,
Oh yeah, it's a wrap.
turn the fucking game off. Bro. I'm ready to throw my
Who's the alien up there? The dude with the sword. Damn,
Yoshimitsu.
Yoshimitsu.
That nigga's a
I
troll
rock with
too. He played a dude. He was hopping on his sword
Oh yeah,
the whole match
Bounce.
and then sat on the ground.
And then
I'm like, bro, I can't-
whipped your ass from the ground.
from the ground.
Dude,
Hate this.
Marvel versus Capcom 2 and Marvel versus Capcom 3 Alpha. Only
Mm.
only fight games I was ever really good at. And now they're bringing Street Fighter Third Strike back to Evo.
Really?
So the list, yeah, for the list of Evo games of where it was released, and some people are like pretty shocked at what's coming back. But Third Strike is coming back. So Moment 47, or was it 42? Moment 42. So for those in the fighting genre, if you know what that is, we're getting that maybe. So it could be an exciting. This
I wanna
is
get back to
like
the
a
game a
really
little more. I want to go
Yeah,
buy
this
like
is like-
an actual fight pad.
an actual pad. Yeah. They sell them on 8BitDo, I think, for pretty cheap. But this seems like a pretty good year for just stuff,
Yeah, in general,
just for stuff to come out.
2024.
Like you
yeah,
Knuckles, we got the trailer for that. I
yeah.
didn't know I was gonna like Idris Elba as Knuckles at first, but like he voices that.
He
character
works. He's just and I've been watching That as well. I've had Sonic, the first one. I've always got to a certain point and stopped, and I never came back to it. But this past weekend, I watched the first one and the second one.
But by any chance, did any of you guys see the that remix trailer where they added Gangster's Paradise into the trailer when Knuckles catches Sonic's? That was playing at my job, like on the on the screen. Somebody had just put it on a loop, and he was like, "Oh, Sonic get out!" I was dying.
That's just lit.
And the fact that they put
I'm
Nuck
glad
if you
they're doing
buck to it. And
Yeah.
they put Nuck if you buck to the trailer was crazy too. I was like,
Like
yeah.
they make some.
It's a good
I'm
time.
glad they did it because you guys remember the first original drawing of fucking
Yeah.
Sonic.
Oh
that came
yeah,
out? That shit was
terrible.
And you know what's crazy?
Is it at the
If you
first time like they went? My fault, Austin, for cutting
look-
you
No, go
off.
ahead.
It was like the first time they went. It was like, okay, we got backlash. Let's fix this up ASAP.
They should do that shit more often. Honestly, like fuck all this. Like Coop, you know you love comic books. Austin, you love comics. Like when I was like talking about making the Silver Surfer a girl, I'm like, okay, I understand. Like you guys want to be, but some shit just gotta stay the same. Dog. Like
Yeah, let
would
it
change
go.
the
out the
whole
public.
perspective of the story. Yeah, that's a little bit too much. I mean, like, it was crazy is that I was saying that when you see original pictures of the first Sonic compared to the backdrawing and artistry that they're going to do with the rest of the movie, it actually did fit. But the thing is that when they change it back to the customer base, I believe the director said, even though it would have fit, it's not what people wanted.
There you
So
go.
yeah, if we give people wanted, then no matter what we do, it's going to fit.
Yeah,
So
They should do
and-
that to
and
like I
think
said,
he's
the
right.
Power Rangers movie. They should have let us know.
Old school
That shit-
suits,
yeah,
old school
That was-
suits,
yeah,
pyrotechnics.
The toys. That shit was on clearance so
Terrible.
fast.
yeah. They're terrible.
They have Transformer syndrome. They have what you call Transformer syndrome. Like everything looks a little bit too crazy, too smooth, too much going on.
That shit was dog shit.
And that's it for Hold That Thought. With dope stuff coming out. Let us know in the comments, non-Gunpla or model kit related, what's coming out, what y'all excited for. I think I'm excited for the Knuckles, and I'm excited for the Dragon Ball Z game. Again, Austin said it just in 2024 is a good year. That anime's doing great. I have to watch Solo Leveling 3 and 4, so I'm backed up on that. Got
Best main
Kaiju
character.
number 8. That's in Solo Leveling.
He might be the goated main character. We go
That's a lot. That's a
MC for
tall task.
MC. Power wise.
That's a tall
Shoot.
task, brother.
We're looking at a really good year. We're looking at a
Yeah.
really good year.
So let us know in the comments what y'all excited for this year. What's coming out. Next up, we do Creators Corner, where we shout out a couple of dope content creators. And of course, this month, since it's being Black History Month, we're going to shout out a couple of dope content creators that are so happen to be African American. So I'll go first. I want to give a shout out. Her page came up on IG before. Really didn't appreciate the work until I seen it in person when I went up to Richmond's GBWC or GWBC. I want to give a shout out to One Punch Sam. This stuff that she puts out is phenomenal stuff. She did the Master Grade Mark II. Not my fault. Go ahead, Austin. This is your lane. Master Grade. I was going to say Mark II, but it's not the Mark II. This is the Titans.
It's the
TR1.
TR1 Hazel.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Yep.
This in person looks sick with the base. I know that she placed second at GBWC for this. It's dope to see, different layers of builders, right? We get the kind of like the generic builder. I'm not saying that, what is the generic builder? We all know what the generic builder is. And then we go down to like we get African Americans that build, and then we go down to it being a female. So for her to kind of like push through that and just being just a dope builder in general is sick. I mean, just going through and seeing the work.
She's cold.
Yeah, this is some cold stuff, especially in person. Some of the stuff, like I went back and like I looked at this picture, I was like, you know what? I want to start wearing gloves when I paint. Like I need to start doing little things like this because of seeing this picture. I was like,
Bro,
yeah.
you should see my hands.
But this is One Punch Sam on Instagram.
Just wear a glove. Makes it simple.
and check her out. Some of the other stuff that she's done. Again, really dope to meet her in person. Really dope to kind of get like her take about how she did the Hazel when we sat down and talked. I think she's going to be at ODO.
We need some
This is
undergated interviews.
Undergated interviews.
One Punch Sam.
One percent. We'll see. This is, but I like the subscribing, the extra panel lining. This is probably one of my favorite mobile suits when it comes to the AOZ stuff. And I see it because of one of the Gundam head, but to see it like done up like this with Austin, and it's now this suit is sick. So definitely check her out. That is One Punch Sam. I mean, that's common spelling, people. Excuse me. It's Sam Wood, and then she has an art centric account, Radiant Green. So check her out. That's my shout out of the week. Austin, you have one, and it's going to be another dope content creator that's mainly on YouTube, but specializes. I'm not going to go ahead, Austin. Take it away.
She specializes in holo videos and desk redesign and stuff like that, and just overall little bits of artistry. She's also a cosplayer. And does a dope about a cosplay. So she likes anime, manga, cool stuff like that. I came across her channel not too long ago, but I've been checking her out. I've been liking a lot of the stuff, and some of the stuff that she brings in and she hauls out, and stuff that I'm trying to get to. So it's kind of beneficial to be like, oh, that's out now. Okay, let me go buy it. But yeah, no, she's overall cool. Her name is going to be Patrick Sucks, or I'm sorry, not Patrick. Patricia Sucks. I've been watching SpongeBob with my nephew and nieces. But Patricia Sucks. She's really cool, dope.
That's
Has one of the
gorgeous
dopest, right? Has one of the coolest desk setups I've ever seen. So just shouting out this kind of
people like that too. That's tough.
Yep.
That is tough. This is kind of like that dream girl-esque type of aesthetic, especially if you're streaming nowadays. And some of these books, you read some of these books, Austin?
Yeah, Horror
Or
Mia.
Yep.
See.
One of
Animes too. Oh, they're all animes too now.
Star-Crossed? Not yet. I don't think Star-Crossed is not yet, but all the rest are.
Yeah.
Valkyrie Diaries.
I want to check it out.
Great.
I enjoy haul videos, so I'm definitely gonna check her channel out on YouTube. That is Patricia Sucks. So do you own any of these? What is this? The
Apothecary Diaries. This is an anime right now, and it's
gorgeous,
amazing. It's fantastic.
For me, it's top 5 romance.
Romance, ever. Yeah, and I don't know. Ride is like top 5 as well, top 10 maybe. They're all. I read all of them. They're really good. The Apothecary Diaries I've only watched, but it's so good. And Hunter x Hunter,
of course, Hunter x Hunter, classic. I haven't read it.
I love how Hunter x Hunter. I call it Hunter X.
Yeah.
I don't call it Gunpla. It's not Gunpla X Tesseract to me. It's Gunpla Tesseract.
Hey, there we go. And the author of Hunter x Hunter did that specifically. He said, I just want people to say it whatever way they feel like saying it.
Now the question is though, when that happens, if you call it Hunter x Hunter, do you call it Spy X Family then CD? Don't be hypocrite. You call it Spy X Family? You don't call it Spy Family?
I flip back and forth. I sometimes call it Spy X Family and Spy Family. Like if I'm in a hurry, I say Spy Family. Like if I'm just reading out, like recommending it to somebody, I say Spy X Family. It's weird.
And it will never be times, right? It will never be Spy Times.
Spy Times Family. I multiply my family. Hold the one.
Family equals a mess. Yeah.
Carry over the one.
Right. But that's what's up. But that's Patricia Sucks. Go check her out. Check her YouTube out. Dope content creator. I want to give her a watch on YouTube. We have CD talk about this.
Yo.
It's a pretty dope build.
We have a 209 Gundam Works. I didn't pick him because he's also a 49ers fan. Wink, wink. But he's also a really, really great builder. My favorite thing about his page is that he really does show step-by-step work. The second photo, well, this is the tall geese we're looking at here in the 49 color scheme, which he absolutely slayed. The second one is a Barbatos custom that he custom built of like 5 or 6 different kits. And I found his page in the middle of him working on this. And this is like blew me away that someone could just, I don't have the mind to like put all these pieces together. I don't see this coming together ever for me. And like him picking out different pieces off different kits and like the color scheme, the chest piece with the lights in it, like
the gradient
talent.
on the with the yellow and the orange is ridiculous.
And people don't understand how hard it is to do gradient. It's hard to do it on one spot, but to do it to match it to another side, damn near impossible. Like, damn near impossible. So
With 2 RG
Coop,
Epions coming.
that's
Sheesh.
that's you right there, Doug.
2
Good
RG
dude. He doesn't
Epions.
reply. Like friendly guy. Good. He works on a lot of different things, not just Gundams. And you know, just a dope builder that doesn't get a lot of notice.
You got the PG at the work desk.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I thought
Imagine
about
hauling
it.
that big ass shit into work too, Doug. I wish.
I thought about it when I was going. I was like, "Oh, let me put the MGX on my
Unicorn?
work desk." Yeah. Shit. Yeah, I know I love
It
some
is.
Ultraman, but that is 209 Gundam Work X or Gundam Work with an X at the end of it. I don't think it has a K. Yeah, so with an X at the end of it. Shout out to you, brother. Keep it up.
Bang Bang Niner game.
Sure, man. Sure. Next up, we're gonna do, of course, what we try to keep going. Austin, you on deck, sir? We have Austin's real grade. Austin breaks down a kit that he has built. Give y'all a little bit some breakdown of if you potentially want to purchase this kit, and he gives you an overall grade at the end. Hint, hint. The reason why it's called a real grade, Austin's real grade. And this week, Austin is going to discuss the HG Blue Destiny Exam 1. Austin, you have the floor, buddy.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, the HG Blue Destiny Exam 1, a fairly, how can I say, very simple high grade that appears to be a little bit more complex on the surface. It is a standard Universal Century high grade revive variant, so it is not a revive, but if you've built a high grade revive variant, you know what you're in for. Panel separation is pretty good. The amount of detail on it is pretty basic. It's not too crazy. I don't know if you can see clearly here, but on the shoulders they're very clear. I mean, very smooth. There's not much there, but the definition on the hips, for example, the hips or the waist are fairly good. You also have a bit of detail here of just gray peeking out of the chest piece. That's our separate pieces. All in all, this kit, if you've ever built a high grade ground type Gundam, high grade Easy 8, these are essentially the same kit, just with a few things changed here and there. So internally it's that, so you're pretty comfortable with it. As a matter of fact, the beam rifle I actually stole from an Easy 8, and as you guys can see, it actually fits perfectly. So what's the big gimmick? Why make this a separate suit? Well, that's going to have to be with the exam system. The exam system is essentially like a hypercharged turbo mode of the suit, and you get two variants of its visor, and as well as a little transformation gimmick. You can have green for when it's off, red when it's on, and you can have red lights. You also get 4 different types of heads. So it's really 2 heads with either antenna, no antenna on one of them, but really it's 4 types. You have the round eyes inside of it, or you can get the traditional Gundam triangle eyes for later in the game. And that's what it is. This suit is based off a video game. That's why we have it. I believe it's called Missing Link or Blue Destiny, maybe game. So overall, it's a pretty decent high grade. Like I said before, if you built a high grade ground type or Easy 8, familiar with that, then you know exactly what you're getting into. And it's overall a fairly easy build. I don't really have too many complaints, only because it's pretty simple. The only real complaint I guess would have is that there's no articulation when it comes to there is articulation when it comes to sidesway, but not as much when it comes to forward. That's just because it clips its cockpit there going in. The articulation on the joints are pretty good regardless. You have all the way up. You have essentially double jointed in the elbows. In the knees, you even have a little bit of a swing out gimmick that pushes the knee out. from the armor and then pushes it back in when you push it down. The shield does pop out a little bit, but I think some glue tack or maybe some shield guard or joint guard would fix that right up. You get different versions of the backpack, which are just literally these parts can pop off or be collapsed down. All in all, this is a very simple kit. I don't really have too much crazy riving things to say about it. It just does its job. It looks like the Blue Destiny, and it gets it done. For color accuracy, there are some things here and there that need to be painted gray. I think you can do this by a brush and knock it out in an evening. It comes with stickers. There are fairly large amounts of water slide decals if you really want to freak it. But everything else, I think it's very basic. Now, did I enjoy building this kit? Kinda. I was enjoyed for like the first half, and then I was just bored. Because I've built it so many times, but that's coming from my perspective. Someone who's built it 1.5 billion times, right? So, and another little story. This is one of the first kits I ever built back in the day. This one, not particularly this one, but one of the first high grades I ever built. And I decided to buy a new one to try and paint this and see where I'm at now. Just as a little journey to myself.
So that's next in the paint booth for you?
No. That's long down in the list. There's other things I need to get through. But yeah, no. Overall in the build, it's not bad. Not bad. A little bit boring for me, but maybe for you, if it's your first time building it, could be good. So yeah, I would give this a grade. There's no other real problems with it, and you get 4 different heads. I would give this a grade of. I was just gonna say a flat C because it's boring, but because of all the options you get in the box, I would say C+.
That's solid. That's a solid grade.
Yeah.
C+, average build,
grade.
average kit.
Yeah. There's even little actions where the shoulders will pop out when it's in exam mode, but it's such a small amount.
Yeah,
that you can see there that it's almost not even worth mentioning. But yeah, no, that's.
Degrees,
what do you think would be the reason why somebody would have picked that up? Is it the color scheme? Like, what do you think somebody likes blue enough? Ironically, you have the blue shirt on out of all the days.
Rocking the blue Under Armour.
Blue Destiny.
But yeah, no. Number one reason would be they're a fan of the video game. They want to complete the collection with the exam collection, so they get the exam 2 and 3. Or they just like the color scheme and they like the fact that the eyes can glow red or something like that they want to get the stickers out of. I think that's really the main reason. And it's fair. You know what? I was going to say it's fairly cheap. It cost me $22, which I think actually is a little bit higher than like
that's
some
fair.
Other high grades in that realm. I think are 18 or 19. So $2 more, but that's because you're getting different variants of heads, I'm guessing, and different variants of the exam system being on and off. So you're paying for a little bit more plastic. So that's why they upped the price. When you build it, it didn't feel like it was worth more money, but I think that what you're paying for is just that extra plastic you may or may not use.
Well,
so
I think the Easy 8 and the ground type went up in price. I think too. They went up to.
Oh, did they go up in price?
Yeah, they were. It was an $18
okay.
kit, so I think the ground type went up to $21.
Oh, if that's the case, then this is just a normal price kit. Then in that case, now would I recommend you get the Easy 8 over this? If you are not a fan of the game and you just want a kit from that era of UC, I would recommend getting the Easy 8. You get the backpack, you get the parachute pack, you get those wires that connect to it, or even the ground type. You get the backpack where you can collapse the gun and put it in. You just get more gimmicks, in my opinion, with those two kits compared to this one.
Does this have beam sabers in the legs too?
Yes, it does. It does have beam sabers in the legs. You can open the little gap here if my fingers permit me, which they will not because I don't have nails. But there are beam sabers in the legs. And in most of those kits, that's how the beam sabers are stored, in the legs, the Easy 8 ground. Yeah, and I keep referencing those two kits because that's essentially what this is. I barely see any separation. Yeah, and the exam 3
is just a blatant ripoff of the ground type.
It's so much so that I've started kind of hoping that they would do a revive or a reimagining of the exam 3, because I've showed you guys the picture of that Naoki exam 3 master. It looks incredible. So
I'm surprised that they haven't done that. I mean, maybe the Camphor might be kind of like the first one. Maybe they'll go and drop the master grade of the exam 3.
I think it has something to do with licensing, honestly, because the video game company that made the video game, I think, holds some of the license for the kit. So Bandai probably doesn't want to produce it and give them like 30% of their earnings for a kit that might cost a really expensive to make. That's why they haven't made a Blue Destiny master grade, or or Blue Destiny is always on P Bandai, or a master grade of this or the exam 3, because just the amount of money it will cost.
That makes sense. that's Austin's real grade. Let us know in the comments below, people, if y'all picked this kit up and how much y'all enjoyed this kit. I've only have the exam 3. I know CD's a big fan of the exam 2, and Austin's a big fan of the exam 3 as well.
So no one likes the exam 1.
No, I don't think anybody. I mean, that's a lot of blue. It's a lot of
blue, and it's just a gym with a different head.
Yeah. So next up, the meat and potatoes of this episode. The good.
Shout out to who posted
Plastic Germs. I think it's Plastic Germs. Shout out to Plastic Germs.
We'll put it up here.
Wanted us
somewhere.
Yeah, we'll put it up here. He wanted us to talk about this, and that's what we're going to talk about. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. Always supporting. There's some stuff that people that might be new into the community, might be old in the community, might be middle of the pack, maybe some stuff that they never seen before, or if they seen it and didn't want to address. The GUNPLA community as a whole, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the take from the Undergated. So let's talk about it. Let's go first up. Let me ask y'all first up what y'all want to do, right? The good, the bad, or the ugly? What y'all want to talk about?
Let's go. Let's end on a good note. Let's start.
Okay. Let's start negative. The bad. The bad. What is the bad about the GUNPLA community? Well, let's keep it funky. That's what we're going to do. We're going to keep it funky up here, man. Y'all know how it is. We don't shy away from nothing. We ain't throwing out no disclaimers. We're not saying, oh, this is in my opinion. This is some stuff that goes around in the community. What people will say toxic, right? I think the probably that's up there in this community that's pretty bad is the gatekeeping, right? When people gatekeep, I think that this community is big enough to where it's okay, unless you're in full competitor. I'm in GBWC and I'm fighting for a world championship. Cool, gatekeep. Don't let people know where you got this part from. That's all on you, right? But if somebody comes up to you and is like, hey man, I like this and I want this, or where did you get it from? And you purposely keeping that away from them so they don't excel, or you don't want people to know, or you want to feel exclusive to the matter, like you're the only one with it, that's wrong. And then but I guess gatekeeping could get down to more nit and gritty stuff too, right? I mean, when I say gatekeeping in this community, what do y'all think of?
People holding out, like you were saying. I was looking around worldwide for that gloss, Mr. Super Smooth, and I see people had some. I asked, didn't hear back, and after searching 10 15 websites, I was able to go find it. I'm like, damn, someone could have just been like, you don't need 20 bottles, so you could just be like, hey bro, they got it here. So gatekeeping, and not even just with like supplies, just like techniques. It's one thing if like you're like, selling your service, like, hey, I'm gonna teach a class, that's one thing. But like if I just like, hey bro, like I like what you did with that, like, how do you do it? And then I get like the run around. Like, I'm only asking because I like what you did. I'm giving you your props for it, because I'm also trying to like up my game too. And that's like I wouldn't say it's ugly. There's some uglier issues in the gun community, but it's definitely one of the bad.
Yeah. What about you, Austin? When I say gatekeeping in the GUNPLA community, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Honestly, not too much. I've been very, very fortunate to run into mostly people who don't gatekeep. So I haven't really run into someone who gatekept yet. And even people who didn't get back to me or didn't answer my stuff, I never really held it to them that they did it on purpose. I usually would just consider that, they're just busy or something like that. They're busy or it's whatever, right? So I've never held it too much into content. I guess I've seen gatekeeping though before in like just a straight up art community, where there would be certain people that filter other people out who are at certain art levels, because they said we only really want people in the group who are in this threshold of being good at art, so that their ideas were noble in some way. It was to say like, well, we need people who are better than us or at our level so we can keep pushing forward. We don't need people that we need to pick up. I always felt that was a little bit excluded because they were excluding people who might be good at art but just had a different style than they were, and they didn't consider that good. So I haven't run into too much gatekeeping myself personally, but also I think y'all two have been here a lot longer than me, so y'all two have probably been around the block. I'm the new guy walking on the street with New Balances, not realizing I'm about to get made fun of for him. So right, he was like, or Skechers. There we go. Sorry, no, New Balances are cool. Skechers. Yeah, we're all there with Skechers with the Velcros.
Oh, that's true.
What do you notice in the community, Austin?
Yes, essentially about to be essentially new into it. That's anything bad. There's something like, you know what? Nah,
that's bad. People getting mad and arguing at each other over stuff that I'm going to use the word, in my opinion, doesn't seem like that big of a deal. People being upset like, oh my god, this person just keeps showing his backlog over and over again, and they make like a post about how they're complaining about how somebody else is showing their backlog, and then that person makes a post about that person upset about showing their backlog, and then they go back and forth and post to post, and the whole time I'm thinking is, I don't really know why this is a big deal. I mean, if he shows back, just scroll on next. There's not really, I mean, it's I don't know why it's such a thing. Like is it like trying to disparage,
but never
people?
Addressing each other. It's like they like, they're talking about each other, but they're like, don't say they're talking about each other.
I kept thinking, I'm trying to figure out why is that seen as a negative? Is showing your backlog sometimes? Is it like trying to show I'm so much richer than you or something?
I would assume that's what it is. Like sometimes it's I guess that's because some of the stuff could be gray lines, right? Like the bad could be mixed in with the ugly, and the ugly could be mixed in with the bad. I think people can look at kits as social currency. You look at it as experience. Maybe having more kits is equivalent to having a lot of gray hair, right? That like I have a lot of gray hair. I'm not wet behind the ears. Right, where imagine if you ran into somebody, how much credit would you give someone if they're like, I'm really, really good at GUNPLA and I only have 2 kits in my backlog,
versus the guy that has 100,
versus the guy that has 100 kits in his backlog, and he says, who would you be like, okay, yeah, this guy's lying, this guy's telling the truth?
He must
I
really
think
know
that's
his
one
GUNPLA.
reason why.
And you know what's crazy is that for my thought process, I keep up thinking, well, if that guy's really good and he only has 2 in his backlog, that means he gets through kits quickly, and they look. I would need to see what his stuff looks like, right? But I like what you said, Coop, about that being social currency. That maybe some people see it as like a sign of wealth of how much you have in your backlog. I mean, personally, I never really can, like, if I see someone with like 30 Lamborghinis and 2 Ferraris and like look at my garage, right? I don't really get upset. I just like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, and then I just scroll on. I don't really let it impact me too much. And I'm not exactly a wealthy person, but I don't really consider myself poor. I just look at it like it's whatever.
That's
and then
that's what you do. That's what you do.
Yeah, and I'm confused about that. Yeah, but and there's another thing I think in the GUNPLA community where people are really quick to not criticize, but get on people for posting like the same in progress photos like 50 times in a row. Like if somebody I think there was somebody who was upset that they kept posting the same stuff over and over and over and over again, and I kept thinking like, okay, well, just turn off the notification if it's just like incremental updates, and you don't like that this person's just like, hey, I put the decal here, hey, I put the decal here now, hey, and every post is that, like, okay, well then just turn off the notification or just unsubscribe from that person. Yeah, don't follow him. Yeah, I was like, then he's not
in the community. Right with you, also, like people get caught up. Not everyone uses Instagram for the same thing. It's a photo album for my progress on this kit. Some people are showing new pieces of work. Some people just don't post until I finish. Like me, I might not post anything until I finish something, and then I'll post like 3 or 4 pictures. Some people will post a picture a day until they finish their kit. It's how they use Instagram, and I think people get caught up all the time. Like just because their Instagram doesn't look like yours, it's wrong. It's bad. So no, I definitely agree with that.
And I think that kind of goes into what I want to say. Something else that's not good, so I will consider it bad for the community, is we talked about this before. We really, in this community, I don't see enough harsh criticism. Somebody could come up there and say, hey, this is my first time building, and it'll be 15 different comments. Hey, good job, good job, good job, good job, good job. How much are we helping that person out if we don't say, hey, this is a great job, I like what you're doing here, but do X, Y, and Z next? Right?
And I think that comes in the fact of the way you phrase it at the end too, where you're like, all right, I love what you're doing, give him praise, and then point out things that need to be done. But also we have to ask the question, is he asking for criticism? We don't know that. There are some people who post stuff who aren't even looking to get better. They just posting stuff, say I finished something, right? So when some people come in and start saying, hey, there's a nub here, there's a nub here, there's a panel line here that you can knock out, right? Stuff like that. They get defensive.
Yeah.
Right. They're saying, well, how, I didn't ask for you to tell me, I'm just, and then that other person's like, well, you posted it in a public forum. I'm publicly allowed to say whatever I want. Right. And then you get the back and forth that just constantly goes. For example, I did post the Moroccan front on Facebook. There's somebody that posted on the Facebook, I think it was the GUNPLA network page. Someone said, hey, man, you did a great job. But I see a nub right here on the gun cannon and a little seam line here right there. But he was like, but you do a little bit more on surface preparation, and I think you'll be killing it, bro. That's exactly his comment. Right. And at first, at first I was like, okay, cool, man. I was like, I didn't even see that. I was like, I wonder, right? And then a part of me got like a little upset, but I wasn't upset at him. I was upset at myself because I missed it, and it was so obvious, right? Of something that I missed, right? And then like the evil side of you wants to be like, oh, well, this isn't me, but an evil side of person will be like, oh, let me go take a look at his stuff. What does he got? Right?
Yeah,
He hasn't posted jack. Yeah, he hasn't posted jack. How dare he talk about my stuff when he hasn't even done nothing? But
you know who I am?
Yeah, right?
No,
you know I am.
Here's the link. Can you please subscribe?
But I think that comes from just probably just a little bit more, I don't know what they call it, maturity or something like that, like maturity when it comes to criticism, or something like that, right? Where people don't go down that road. But on GUNPLA, you don't know who that is, right? I have no idea. I've never met these people. I only know them through a screen. I don't know, like you guys. I know you guys are all right with criticism because we criticize our stuff all the time, really. But not to like a super harsh, like CD just effing sucked on that last thing. Get better. Right. I swear to God, I'll come over there and I'll take all your Twix or something like that, right?
Exactly. People like, you got also know your audience, know your personnel.
There's people that like that though. Like there's people that watch the guy. Was it Ronnie Coleman? Is it Ronnie Coleman? Like, some weightlifter that's like, man, you fucking suck, you small little. And they listen to that and go lift weights.
See, there are some people like that. The problem is identifying them through a screen is tough. Yeah, it's really tough. But I feel you though. I mean, there's people that like what is it? The one dude who's like Chad High School or something like that. He goes in and he tries to teach people how to be Chad, and he looks at him. He's like, "You're fat. You're a sissy. You're never gonna get a woman or something like that."
That's like Gordon Ramsay.
Right? Or Gordon Ramsay, yeah. I love that the one guy he looked up, he was like, I'm married with 3 kids and I make $300,000 a year, but I've never been talked like that before.
That's real shit. I want to give a shout out to Cobra Pop because he was like, this year, like, just besides commenting on a post saying like, oh, this, I love your post. He was like, I want to make like a definitive comment about what I love about it. Like, all right, I love your post. I love the color scheme that you use here. Like, I wish there's not more in like intent behind it. I might get 4 flames, but what makes this 4 flames? You know, let's just not just post like, we want like pause. We want it both ways, right? Like if you're gonna give me harsh criticism, tell me like, yo, you enjoy it. I enjoy this. I like what you did here, right? Like, and that's we could talk about that with the good too in the community because there's some people that you reach out to that willing to do that for you if you just have to ask.
And you know, I would also say this: it's not on you to always figure out what the type of person you're commenting stuff on. You are just a person. You are a human being. You have a limited amount of time, just like everybody else. If you're going to leave that comment and you leave it there, and the person gets upset, you know, you can either just walk away, just like, hey, just let that go, or say, hey, my apology, man. I was just pointing this stuff out, but I still think your stuff is great, and then dip. Like those are multiple ways you can still deal with it. Don't lead into an argument. Is what I'm talking about. But yeah.
And I think that too in this community, and there's more good than bad. It's hard to pick out. It's hard to pick out the bad, and some of this stuff could be just like nitpicking, but it's just some of the stuff that we see, and I see this like, man, if the community will progress forward a lot easier, smoother if we just did this, right? Like, the great works, keep it up, all of that. If you have to reach out to somebody's, DM and say, look, man, hey, I like what you did here. What's your goal? What's your mission like behind all this? And it's like, yeah, that's easier said than done. But imagine it as a whole in the community if we were able to, if I knew something that this person didn't know, and me reaching out, and not them reaching out, but me reaching out saying, hey, man, I like what you're doing here. Here's what's your goal? Oh yeah, I know how to do shading. That's how I talked to Hoskin House, man. I reached out to him, right? And then we talk about shading and stuff like that, or GUNPLA University when he was building. But if we could also take the initiative too, as experienced people, just like the other day in our Facebook group, somebody was like, what nippers do y'all use? Because I watched this video where this guy used these nippers and it was clean nub, and I was like, hey, look, I reached out and I was like, look, sometimes not just about the nippers, it's about sanding. It doesn't matter sometimes about the nippers. But I took the initiative to message back. That post could have been left. I saw it, and on Facebook, it will say seen by, it'll say X amount of people. Like it will say seen by 25 people and no comment. And like, come on, this person is asking a question. 25 people walked past him, didn't say anything to him. I stopped and was like, hey, this is what you do. This is what you got to do. If we get enough of those, like if it was seen by 25 people and 25 different comments, even if it was, or 20 different comments to help out this person grow within the community, would be amazing.
Sharing knowledge is free.
And exactly.
Free.
It's the number one way to, yeah.
It's just an effort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, that's the bad. Let's talk about the ugly. Like we said before, that blurred line, that area, that what people call
the
it.
Ugliest thing in our community is like the witch hunts. That like the gun community will go on. Like someone will do something and one person will hate it, and everyone will jump on the bandwagon of like hate. Studio G was the big one. Like people having master classes and just, I think a lot of the times we kind of like follow someone else's opinion before we formulate our own, because it's easier to do that. And I see a lot of negativity in that, and even like people just saying wild shit, and like people coming for them just because someone else is coming for them. Like, if you didn't have any business in the situation, you don't have to, give your 2 cents.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes your 2 cents isn't needed.
For sure. And I think too, the toxic part of this community could come from the fact that we hide behind these screens. Like, we're not going to see these people. And people get so empowered. The fact that I live thousands of miles away and I want to say what I got to say. Right. Like, like the whole Studio G situation, I know we discussed it and we're not going to beat a dead horse about it, but it could have went a completely different way, and it could have made this community a little bit stronger. But some of the stuff, it's balance, right? So we can't always have the good. There's going to be certain situations where ugly prevails, and we can look at it and go, okay, yeah, we have to look at the ugly for us to say, okay, we don't like it this way, and change it. One of the things I don't consider it, I guess maybe not ugly. I'm not a big fan of that statement. Y'all know how that statement of GUNPLA is freedom, right? Because it's not freedom. Maybe it expresses freedom because it expresses you could do whatever you want, sure. But then what happens when that person does whatever they want? Now, I always go back to, let's put a swastika on a Leo, and let's praise that person now. Then. Yeah. Right. Let's make a real Hitler model kit, and let's praise that person, because remember, GUNPLA is freedom. And I don't want to hear, well, no, you're taking it out of context. That's not what we mean. No, because we don't know what that person takes it as. Go ahead, Austin.
Okay. So to be devil's advocate here, technically you have the freedom to do that.
Yeah, you're right. That is absolutely.
Now here's the same thing. I also have the freedom to burn the American flag. I have the freedom to do every wrong thing, but everyone else also has the freedom to take it in the way in which they feel
You want to take that shit.
they should take it. So sure, he has the freedom to do that, but everyone else getting upset at him is their freedom too.
That is absolutely
Right.
correct.
So,
So let's not post out there and put Gunpla is freedom if we're going to criticize it. Because if it's freedom, then I shouldn't have to criticize it.
I don't understand.
If it's freedom, right? If I
Mhm.
understand,
you
that's
can
your
criticize
kid,
things that
and
are
you
free.
if that's your kid and you can
Mhm.
do whatever you want with it,
Yeah.
I shouldn't feel some type of way about it. That's what Gunpla
What?
is Gunpla.
No.
If you paint it, why?
Yeah.
Then it's no longer
Because-
freedom.
No, because you have the freedom to react to any way that somebody made something.
Yeah.
You
I see what you're
can't suspend your freedom just because someone else has a freedom. It
Then
just
is,
because
then is
someone
it
doesn't
then
know.
is it freedom then? If both
Yeah.
freedoms collide, somebody has to
Both-
give up.
Because no, these aren't two trains on the same track. These are two trains on the parallel track. They can ride together. I mean, if freedoms are always stopped with other freedoms clashing, there would only be one religion in the U.S. because someone's got to win.
That's true.
Someone
too.
has to stop and not exist, right?
That's
There would
true.
only be one political party because someone's got to win, regardless. Even though they both are trying really hard, but
But does Gunpla as freedom come off in a way where it does not? You don't look at it as a way where it could come off as you could do whatever you want and it'll be accepted in this community.
Just because you can do whatever you want doesn't mean you're protected from criticism.
That's
Just
true
because
too. But
You
it
can do whatever you
comes
want doesn't mean you're
off,
protected from everybody else.
it comes
Yeah.
off as a way of Gunpla is freedom,
Mhm.
and you can feel free to do whatever you want because it's an artistic value. You could do whatever you want.
You can, yeah. What you're saying is completely correct. Every
But
word you're saying is correct.
but that statement sounds like there's no backlash if I do whatever I want.
If someone believes that there's no backlash or there's no way that the other people's freedom can't react to your art, then they are sorely mistaken. That doesn't exist. It feels as if there's a miss there that people will just believe.
If I tell you, hey,
you're looking at a water here, right? You're looking at a lake, a still lake. There's waves being reflected back at you, and for you to sit there and say, well, no wave can touch me because I'm standing in this lake here. This is my piece of the lake. It makes no sense.
but if I told you, hey, go into the store and you could do whatever you want, you have the freedom to do whatever you want. Do you feel like if I'm an owner of a tech company and I say, go into this store and say, you have the freedom to do whatever you want, do you feel like is going to get backlash for that? Whatever you pick, you know what? I could do whatever I want.
Well,
I want to put this here.
Well, one, does that person own the store? Am I not just walking into like a random Best Buy? I hope that's not.
Yeah.
Go in that McDonald's and do whatever you want.
Shoot him.
Oh Lord, my Big Mac.
Shoot him.
Shoot him now.
Shoot now. Shoot.
But yes, if they own a Best Buy and they say, hey, you could do whatever you want, you have the freedom to do whatever you want,
Mhm.
and you go into that Best Buy and you do whatever you want,
Mhm.
when you go in, do you have the thought of like, yo, I was told I could do whatever I want, so it doesn't matter because I'm told I could do whatever I want. You don't
So-
think of I could do whatever I want, but let me just slow down because I might get in trouble for doing this. I was
So-
told I could do whatever I want.
So to answer your analogy, if I was told that, right,
Mhm.
I would one think about why, two. But if I was worried about criticism of other people saying stuff, I would have to ask, who owns this building? Why do they want me to go in here and do whatever I want? And who's going to be affected by what I do? Right? It is a bigger question. But now that's in terms of you doing a physical act. If you're making art, which is sometimes just creating things, right? A better analogy would be like CD. You are now in charge of this strip of island, this land right off the coast. You can make whatever rules, whatever utopia, whatever ideas you want to exist. Go ahead and do it. Now, CD, would you go there and make a whole new religion or a whole new ideal or government to be praised on there? And then when people say, man, your religion is kind of weird, Ben. I mean, praising a bagel, I mean, eventually the bagel is going to go bad, right? And stuff like that, right? And you'd be like, yeah, you can't do it because that's where I live, right? It seems like a really weird type of analogy, but I mean,
But if the people are criticizing you
Mhm.
or criticizing CD about the bagel, right,
Mhm.
are the same people that say go do whatever you want.
Mhm.
You have the freedom to do whatever you want. Gunpla is freedom, man. You
Mhm.
can do whatever you want, and when I do whatever I want, I get backlash.
That's part of life. That's part of
That
life.
is true. But so
we live
maybe we
we
can.
live somewhere where you're free to do what you want, and you shouldn't be surprised when some people don't really like what you do.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
got
life.
a Gundam as a freedom story for you guys that happened to me. I don't think I told you this, but I was on Reddit and I posted a picture of my heavy arms, and
Mhm.
it's endless waltz. So I posted it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I love it." And some guy's like, "It looks great, but you didn't do the endless waltz colorway because it's purple, not gray." And I was like, "Well, the master grade is like a purplish gray." He goes, "Well, that's not it. So that's not it. So I guess Gunpla's freedom for you." And I was sitting there like, but
See, that was kind of a more of a hostile critique, because what he did was that he went in to give a small criticism, right? CD went in to essentially defend himself, saying, well, technically it's based off this and this. He immediately fired back with, well, I guess Gunpla is freedom with him. In my opinion, it falls on him to get upset at being not checked, but just having a counterpoint launched at himself shows, one, that he probably has a very low tolerance for self-criticism itself, and also low tolerance to actually hold a conversation intelligently. But yeah, no, he was more more in the wrong. Yeah, like, what does that mean? See, he's being more hostile than he has to be. Than he even should be. Then he should even think about being. But I'm sorry, continue.
and it wouldn't be right, fellas. If we're going to talk about the ugly, and we're going to keep it funky, it would not be right if we don't discuss the racism that's within this community. It would not be right. We would not be doing our community justice if we just walk over this topic of racism in the Gunpla community. I haven't came across. Have y'all came across anything
So
remotely racist? I don't think it's going to be blatant. I don't think anybody's going to look at me and say, "Boy, put that piece of shit up, you black." Right? Like nobody's going to do that in general. Not in the vast area of Virginia, Maryland, and North Carolina. Nobody's going to do that.
It's a bad
me
idea.
In general,
it's just a bad idea.
It's going to be a bad day, because that bad statement is going to turn into somebody's bad day. They might be able to get away with it in California. They might be able to get away with it in like Iowa, whatever. In this specialized area, you ain't gonna get away with that statement. But for however many days in between, that's how long you'll get away with it. But it's never gonna be that blatant, though. I think that one, racism is alive and well in anything, and two, that people, I'm not going to say it's racist. I think people have a standard. I think people get used to, well, one, I'm not going to say there's not what I'm saying is not racist. People have a standard. People have the way something looks and something what they like, right? And that's what they're going to fall on. Like, oh, I'm not racist. I just like X, Y, and Z. Oh, I'm not racist. I contribute to X, Y, and Z. But I think there's a lot of
black friend. I have an Asian friend.
Ooh, that's the worst one to say. But I think that people they fall back and say, this is what I like. I started with X, Y, and Z first, so I stick with X, Y, and Z. I think that and this community is not and we go into that when we talk about the good as well. But in this, I don't think in this community, I think there's subliminal racism. I think I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. Would I put it past somebody? And I'm just keeping it funky. Would I put it past somebody for them not to shop at Vulcan Hobby because Vulcan Hobby's black owned? I can't put that past anybody. There's somebody out there will rather shop with USA Gundam and versus Vulcan Hobby. Both have the same kit, but if they know Vulcan Hobby's black owned, they're not going to buy it. There's somebody out there.
Sure, I'm sure.
Yeah, statistically, yeah, it would have to be. Yeah,
and I think that happens more also in other scenarios and other things. as well in this community. I think there's some people that might show more love to other people because of that. Because, like you said, statistically, that can happen. What's your take? What's y'all takes on the potential? There's not even potential at this point. Not calling the community racist, but racism within the community.
Yeah, I mean, there's bits and pieces of it in everything. I don't think it's as verdantly blatant as other things. It might even just be as far as, hey, you know, I think this specific genre of builders from this specific place build better than this group of people from this place. It might not even be like racism or like more of like just countries, you know, like, oh, I think the Asian builders build better here in Asia than they build here in the United States. And that goes for everyone. But even just in smaller groups, I know personally for the longest, I didn't really feel like super comfortable like showing my face. I mean, and I didn't experience any racism at the time, but like I wanted people to know me for, you know, my builds.
Yeah.
And not being, you know, Malik. Because I tell a story all the time. Like I went to my first competition and like I walk in and like, I got J's on, I got a chain, I got a hat, got a nice shirt. And, you know, I look different, completely different than anybody else that walks in there. And I caught some stares, some glances. And, you know, once they, you know, get past that, when we start talking Gundam, they're like, oh damn, like this guy's cool, he's dope. So, and that kind of goes into anything, but like just breaking past that stereotype of like, hey, like,
Yeah,
we all might look different, but we all still do the same thing.
And for the people that don't think it is, like, man, they want to start some stuff over there. The Undergated thing, they just want to ruffle some feathers. We get comments all the time from people that say, hey man, I'm glad to see what y'all brothers doing, because this is what I'm going through here. Man, this is what I'm dealing with here in my state when it comes to me as a black builder. So to be honest with you, man, I'll just stay home and build and watch y'all. So it's not just us trying to sit here and ruffle feathers, right? Like this is stuff that's people standing up for the people that don't have the platform on that really ain't gonna really say it. We have the platform. We're gonna say it. We're gonna speak on it. And that's one of the uglies in anything. I think the racism is a staple in the ugly of a good, bad, and ugly in pretty much anything. Even down to what people think GBWC, they just want all Asians, right? People think, oh, they want all Asians to win. I'm like, no, that's wild for somebody to say that.
Yeah, didn't a black man win GWC one time
in the USA?
Yeah. Represented the United States. Yep.
Represented right out of Philly.
Yeah,
Gundam Nerd. Is it Gundam Nerd, right?
Yeah. And, didn't OG win one time?
I don't know if OG won. I don't know. But Gundam Nerd represented.
He'll speak upon it too, like, you know, the discrimination he faced. And it's not just blacks, it's not just Asians, it's not just, you know, sure, white people. Any race, I'm sure, faces some sort in this community. I mean, even like I said, the United States, we're the minority when it comes to the Gundam community. And, you know, other countries might see us and be like, oh, those Americans, they just can't scribe right. They don't, oh, he's American, he's not going to have a crazy dial like us over here, you know, like, so it's not just blacks.
Yeah, it's not. I think that
we all face some sort of, you know, some sort of
walls. Some sort of racism and prejudice.
And we can't speak towards any other race because we're not. But like Coop said, we get comments all the time like, hey, we love you brothers because we look like you, and there isn't people doing this. You know, there's not people in the community that are willing to like stand up, speak for it. And even just in the last year since we've been in the community, I've seen more black builders, more ethnic diverse builders coming up. And, you know, that like prides me because when I started building, there might have been 3 or 4, and like
that you know of.
that you know of.
People know
and
of.
Now we could. I can count
almost
20,
make a
30.
community. Yeah,
Yeah, and I love it.
Community of it, and that's what don't see it here much in Virginia. Don't see it, maybe because it's more of a melting pot and a mixing pot. Like I don't, and some like the homies Nick Models, who's been the homie for a long time, the homie Ricky Hoskenhouse, been homies for a long time. Even everybody up in the RVA side, they've been homies for a long time. That's opposite, not black, so and it doesn't feel that way. And that's the good, right? But there is certain situations that, again, if we could take this and blend it in, if we could sit there and take, this is what we have, this is what was going on, and acknowledge it. We have to acknowledge it first. Can't sit there and say that we don't have it. Can't sit, and if you, just because you don't experience it or you don't see it, doesn't mean it's not going on. Also, I think with the community as well, right? The social activists, not social activists in the back. When it was certain situations happen and the people that what you would think stand up didn't say anything, right? You're like, man, where's the backing now? Right? Like, we're not going to speak about the situation because we're not going to beat on a dead horse, but there was a certain situation not that long ago where us as black builders that so happen to be black, was waiting for the community to say something. Was waiting for us, like, hey, that wasn't, or this isn't right, or whatever the case may be. And certain people would just like, oh, that doesn't affect me. I'm just going to keep it pushing, I guess. So we felt obligated to say something. And because if certain people ain't going to stand up. Austin, you've been kind of quiet about this topic, brother. You probably haven't experienced a whole lot of it in this community.
I've been, my brain's been racing back and forth a billion times because I've been trying to find the right words to say. It's
a civil war.
When I think of racism in the community, and maybe it's just because I haven't been in it that much, I personally have only seen maybe one or two incidents, but my approach to it has been very, how can I say, very measured, very calculated, because I guess the easiest way to do it is to kind of explain myself as a person. I have been very blessed as a human being. I have experienced very, very little racism in my life. I grew up the child of an Air Force, high-ranking Air Force official. So I have lived all across the U.S. I've seen coast to coast and lived in multiple states. I have seen almost every state in the U.S. by the age of 16, right? So I've been everywhere. I've experienced and met many different people with many different beliefs and ethnicities and ideals. And when it comes to people who don't like other people based on their races solely, certain things that pop up are kind of continuous. People being angry, people being confused, people being upset at certain things that may not even have anything to do with the person with their race, but just what their race means, the idea that is projected by who they are as a person.
Lack of knowledge too.
Lack of knowledge, yeah. And I have always been, in my opinion, seen as a confusing individual, only because as people who know me, I don't really fit in the main black stereotype. I don't really I have never owned a pair of Air Forces, I think, in my life. I don't really listen to rap music that much. It's actually like my third, not even my third or fourth option. It's actually further down. I've seen no movies a lot with black actors in them. I mean, I think I told you I've never watched like anything with Denzel Washington in it recently, right?
Yeah,
I grew up in a household that was kind of sheltered a little bit by the military. So when people meet me and talk to me, they get a sense that I'm not a usual black guy, and there's even black people that don't see me as a black person. So wow. I've always been, because I'm very different to them. It's very hard. I've never watched an NBA game. I've never watched a single basketball game in my life. Right. I've never done, I don't know. I watch football, right? But football, I was playing football, right? Okay. That's easy, right? Track and field I watch, right? And it left me in a bit of a time where I was a bit confused with who I am, right? So when I got older, I kind of worked myself out and was like, no, Austin is just Austin. I'm not a black guy. I'm just Austin who's black.
There you go.
Right. So when I hear people be, say racial slurs and whatnot like that, I tend to have a more calculated view of what is this person saying? Why are they saying it? Is it directed towards somebody? And is it directed with the intent to harm? And I kind of go down this list because growing up as a kid, meeting new people, I have to be kind of tactile with who they are and kind of get to know people quickly, understand who they are, put them in a bracket, and then I can kind of go on from there. So when it comes to a racist event that happens in the community, it takes a long time for me to process. So I don't really say much on it. I do think it's stuff that should be spoken about, should be talked about. It's just my way of doing it is so calculated that it takes me a long time really to sift through my thoughts, understand what's going on, and gather as much information so I can actually make a more accurate output or discussion on the topic. And in the community, the good thing is that I think you guys, right, are the more action oriented. We know what's wrong. We can do this, right? And that's actually, in my opinion, a good thing, because sometimes inaction is just as bad as not taking any action. I mean, as the opposite, right? So for me, it's hard for me to talk on it because it's just, I want to know everything. Why, who, where, what was it about? Who was it targeted toward? What does it mean? The bigger meaning, even the smaller meaning. Did they do it in a short time? Was it a long time? Is this a constant recurrence? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Now, let me ask you this. And I'm not trying to make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Right. I just want to know y'all's take on this. For the people that haven't really done anything for Black History Month, not saying that they have to, but if they sit there and say, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, go down the list of all the holidays, and for them not to acknowledge Black History Month, is that how do y'all feel about that? Is that
their choice?
Their choice.
Because I know some people that don't say Happy Merry Christmas, they say like Happy Holidays, or they don't say anything at all, right? So I'm like, yeah, their church, their choice.
It kind of tweaks me a little bit, just because y'all already know my take on Black History Month. I'm going to do it because that's who I am, and we don't get a whole lot of time, but I'm not a big fan of it. But it's like, come on, man, like y'all can't shout out anybody. I don't want to let nobody know what's going on.
I think it also just depends on like how you were raised. My dad grew up in the 50s and the 60s. He experienced racism firsthand. My mom, military child, early military. So like, she was spat on. She was called nigger. She was called Negro. And I grew up. That's the type of background I come from. So not necessarily just because you don't shout it doesn't mean you're proud of it. But like, I'm proud of my heritage. So I'm gonna, let it be known. And it's not talked about as much nowadays. I mean, it's just the times that we're in. Like, they celebrated Chloe, your little one. They're in school right now. Ari's in school. They're learning about Black History Month, and it's just kind of some surface level stuff. Like I was talking to my nephew the other day. He's 11. I was like, "Hey, do you know who Emmett Till is?" And he's like, "Who?" I was like, "That's not African American history. You know who Emmett Till is, Austin?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
he was like test. I was like sweating beads. Yeah, yes, I do. The answer is C. All the above.
And people don't show like
Emmett Smith
on me if they're not, right. That's what he said. Emmett Smith, running back. I said, yeah, no, and that's okay because some people might not say what's up. There's Asian Heritage Month. They might not say nothing for
Amber Alert.
I celebrate Asian Heritage Month. My daughter's half Asian, the missus is Asian, so I don't knock anyone for not celebrating it, but at least respect it.
Yeah,
this is our month to be celebrating. We had a tumultuous upbringing here in the United States, and at one point there was more of us than anything here.
As working in law enforcement in a rural area, I was called every name in the book, but my normal name,
but my government.
Yeah, but Officer Cooper, I was called every name in the book. So believe me when I come to tell you, it's still racism is still prevalent, and that still has its little pockets in every community. It's in every community. So let's not. And
some might be louder. Some might be quieter. Some might they're just inherently learned from their families. It's
all you have to know is that it's there. Don't sit there and say it's not. That's it. When it comes to the racism side, of
My
this
least favorite
community.
phrase is I don't see like color.
Of course you don't, because color probably
That-
doesn't see you.
No, that I hate that phrase because I want you to see the color of everyone
Mhm.
because not everyone is made in the same. And if you don't realize that people have more opportunities because color, then I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you, Jack.
The better phrase was the one that they tried to replace that phrase with. I mean, no, the better phrase was the original phrase, the old school one. You know what the old school one? Treat
What?
everyone the same.
Yeah,
And I was just
Right.
like,
I don't
yeah,
see
right. And
color.
to treat everyone
do
with
that.
respect and as kindly as you treat everybody else. And
And
then
if you don't
they
see
said,
color,
well,
you're automatically diminishing everyone's color.
I was thinking when I heard that, I was like, that doesn't sound like a good idea. Even as a kid, I was like, that sounds like that's gonna work.
No, like Austin
work
said,
it out.
treat everyone like you want to be treated. That's like the
it.
basic fundamental.
The golden
You know,
rule,
anything-
ain't it?
Yeah.
What is it? Treat the somebody. I mixed it up before. I know the golden rule, but I remember one time it was like the platinum rule, which is better than gold. The platinum rule is treat others how you want to be treated.
Mhm.
Like that's what treat others not how they want to be treated. Treat others how you want to be treated. Because if you want to be respected and you want this, treat others that way. Don't treat others like you want to be treated. Some people might not want to be respected, but go ahead and respect them anyway because you want you want respect. So treat others how you want to be treated, right? Which one? Treat others how they want to be treated. Isn't that the
How
golden
you
rule?
want to be treated.
How you want to be? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Which goes into the good, and there's a lot of good in this community.
So much more
people.
good than bad.
So much
So much
more good than even if you combine the good, I mean the bad and the ugly. The good in this community outweighs. This community is one opening, right? Going into Hobbytown and seeing, and I was telling Kimberly about this the other day. It feels good going into Hobbytown, sitting down and knowing there's no judging in that atmosphere. It feels good going into Odeo knowing you're not getting judged for what you like. Yeah, because let's be real. I mean, we're human. I might, I got to a certain point in life where I just don't care anymore. Like somebody might ask, "Hey, what do you do?" I do toy photography and build these kits called Gundams. Right? I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm not. And this community helped me understand that by being so accepted and being so diverse, being so open, like going into Hobbytown the first time and seeing Marvin and him telling me, "Hey man, we build every Saturday, just come back here." And like, okay, bet.
My man's still doing it too.
Still doing it. Guy poked his head in there yesterday. He was like, "Hey, what's going on?" Hey, every Saturday we build these things called Gundams, and
has not missed a beat.
Yeah,
has not
it hasn't. And it's how open and embracive this community is when it comes to bringing others and building the community. There's a lot of good things. Like even I want to give a shout out to New Type Tim, what he's doing up there in New York and bringing build nights and all those events. And one shout out to him being a brother and working on that and shedding light in an area where in New York I can only imagine how hard it is to do it in New York, to really be with all these stereotypes that come in Fifth Avenue and going Gucci store. Yeah, I mean, to really, you're probably a lot more closed in as a person when you live in these environments. So for him to do that and bring Gundam into that community, into that state up there, shout out to him and everybody else who's trying to work on like the build nights and the community stuff, because we don't have a lot of that. We definitely don't.
Yeah. Grips, Volk. He does his build nights, and the people that run their discords, and just like Cooper saying, I might have got the weird looks when I worked into my first competition, but as soon as we started talking Gundam, all that shit went out the door. And we were boys, had lunch together, like kicked it. And I've made some of my best friends, my little brothers, you and Austin and Coop here, just through Gundam. Like you make lifelong connections. So
and a big shout out to people too who are willing to help you find anything you're looking for. I know we talked about it earlier. Some people gatekeep. There's a lot more people that aren't, and they are
That's true.
legit. I have the amount of people in my DMs that have helped me find a master grade Zeta Plus. I am internally grateful for it. Cobra Pla, Grips, all y'all. There's more people. I just can't remember the names because there's so many that have linked me to eBay, Japanese partial sites, ghost shipping sites. Like people who are like, dude, we will go over. We will illegally grab this bad boy for you.
Yeah, bro. I'll get on the plane for you and grab it. Just give me the bread.
Right? Yeah, I'll do the custom. You just pay for the customs. I got you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I still haven't ordered one yet. But thank you all for helping me find stuff and getting me started in this. I mean, the amount of people that have just been helpful to get to where you need to be, especially with if you're looking for something, they can find it. If you're lost something, they're like, oh, you can get this as a replacement part. Yeah, the amount of people that were willing to help is just so vast. It's kind of crazy sometimes to think about it, but it's such a good crazy. It's a good crazy.
Yeah, and one thing is social media, right? We see I go through a lot of people's stories. There's a lot of sharing of people's work. There's a lot. It's not just here's my work, here's my work, here's my work. It is, yo, this is dope. Yo, this is fire. Let me share this. Let me
I found a lot of dope builders off other people's stories.
Yeah, a lot of love is shown within this community. A lot of it, and that's what I tell people. Like, if you want to get into it, it come any shape and size. Well, one of the comments last week was like, the guy was like, hey, I'm 50 years old and I'm getting into this. So I appreciate what y'all doing. Right? That's 50 years old. I mean, Andy, who is 70 something years old, can tell you about kits from 1965, right? Like, and be willing to sit down and get that insight and don't feel nervous. Don't feel, I don't know, man. He ain't going to really tell me everything I need to know. He's, I don't fit the mold. I don't fit the, because in certain communities, I was just even bringing up in like the sports community, the shoe community, right? You get those guys that you don't fit the mold. You have Jordans on, but those aren't the Jordans that are the cool ones. So you're good, man. Keep doing what you're doing. It's sometimes those people in that community, right? I don't see that in this community. I don't see, oh, you dealing with high grades? Nah, man. Trump change. Go sit down somewhere, kid. Right? Like, it's a lot of love within this community. A lot of brotherhood, family pockets. Right? When it starts, and shout out to the people up there in Richmond, Hobbytown, that think they have like a VCU has like a Gundam club that goes to that Hobbytown, right, and bleeds into that Hobbytown. And that's ODO, awesome. The growth of ODO. If in a couple of weeks we have ODO, not this week when this airs, the following week, and just the growth from what I've seen in 2019 to where everybody, let's get together as a watch. Give it a minute. I mean, I know last year somebody posted the picture. Give it 2 years. Look how, and compare 2026 to 2022, and look at what 4 years and the growth of that community from where it was 4 tables, 2 tables back to back. And now it's more because more people are getting into the hobby. More people are accepted within this hobby. More people are okay of being in this hobby. It's becoming, it's more than what it used to be. And that's what I love about this hobby. That's what I love.
The growth. I think that was what I was going to say too. Just how big it's gotten, and like I'm already an anime head, so like just being able to like talk Gundams, talk anime, talk manga, like find even like smaller subsections within this already small niche. Like, this is like was meant for me. Like I said, like I've always kind of been like I've shied away from like letting people know like, hey, like I'm this big ass anime nerd. And as I've gotten more comfortable with myself and met more people like me, like I got anime tattoos. Like I have no problem. Like people stop me on the time. You like that? I'm like, hell yeah. And like I'm not embarrassed of it.
Nope.
So like it's made me so much more comfortable to be myself. After
and it feels good. And it feels good. That's what I'm telling you. It feels good. It's not just, hey, I want to be myself. Right, I'm gonna be myself with other people that's gonna be themselves too.
Right.
and it feels. It's an energy. It's a wavelength. It's that C note that's in the piano, right? That you hit, and then all the other C notes go. Like it's that. It's the cortex of the brain that gives those endorphins out. That when you can sit down with people that are like-minded, you sit down and build a girl kit and watch whatever on TV and not feel like, yo, what the hell are you doing? Yo, that's wild.
Right.
What are you doing? You play with toys? Yeah, I absolutely do.
Hell yeah. All that ugly and good stuff we were saying, there's a complete opposite of that too. Like even the Studio G stuff, that we also came up together and got people their money back. You know, we also came back and got people, you know, to get things that they were missing out. We got to hold him accountable. We got to hear from this man word for word. Like we came together and got to.
And there's some people, that watched that video, and I'm not saying we did it. I'm just saying, so happens to watch that video and said, "Yo, I did not know he was going through all that. I did not know." You know what? People give him a break. Give him a break. And we got people that say, "Hey, we appreciate what you did for Studio G," because I didn't know. I was going off of these receipts, so I was going off of these statements. I was going off of X, Y, and Z.
And to speak on that, it was I remember there was somebody who privately was like, well, man, I just didn't like the fact that somebody else's money was taken from them. I felt like somebody had been robbed, and I just didn't vibe with that. And I said, that makes sense. If you feel like somebody was wronged, especially robbed, right? Your sense of camaraderie that we have in the community makes people come together and say, no, this is wrong. We should stop this.
Exactly.
Right. And that sense of camaraderie, can't say the word, but that sense of camaraderie.
There we go.
Camaraderie. Right. Is
you said that first part strong. Camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
you have to put emphasis on that, brother. Then everything else flows out.
I don't know if I want to, Mr. Coop, but that is a very important thing in our community, and it has done amazing things to help many people around.
Right.
It's a great power to have. I mean, honestly, it's one of the best things about the community are just people around it are all willing to believe in the good things. So, I mean,
right. We will come together and shut shit down. We will come to form together like
when we know something is
or build
wrong,
something up, or build something up,
and do it the better way. Everything else will
weed out. GoFundMe's, hydroponica. You know, he was in like a terrible car
situation.
Community came together for him. I think it was GUNPLA 88. He had like a cracked windshield from a hailstorm. You know, and people chipped in to help him get a new windshield. Or Kaiju Hobbies, like, you know, they had like some water damage, and people came through. Like, you know, like Austin said, we're willing to tear shit down, but we're also just as willing to build shit up, and that's an amazing part of the community.
And I think that's a testament on how good people can be and are willing to be. It's growing. This community is growing. From what I've seen from conventions. Man, it used to be 1 or 2 booths of GUNPLA. You find maybe that 1 or 2 Lunar Toy Stores, and maybe another booth for kits. Now there's like 6, 7, 8 places selling kits. So people are recognizing this is growth in this community. Companies see it, and they're not shying away from it. They're like, you know what? We're going to embrace it. We're going to stand behind it. And because we know the good is going to prevail in this community for this to keep going. If there was negative energy and bad, I'll assume companies will, well, money's money. The dollar is still going to be green, but not a lot of companies are going to say, you know what? I want to put my foot, like Target. If they know this was a bad community, just an unethical community, I doubt Target would sit there and be like, yeah, we're going to put kits in the stores. So maybe they don't. Maybe they looked at it as fact of like, oh, and we see the rise of it because of COVID and whatever the case may be. You know.
It just takes me back to my days of working in Target when I first saw them sell GUNPLA. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, they're selling GUNPLA? And then there was a little kid picking it up, trying it out for the first time, and I was like, and I got to sell it to him. And I was like,
what, man? That's the good. I mean, like sitting back and seeing Ari build and having Wilson give her tips and hey, you need this marker. And the kids that were sitting behind me yesterday, like,
Right. I'm
it's
telling you, seeing Chloe in a Gundam
phenomenal.
shirt, like, pulls at my
Yeah.
heartstrings every time. Because she's just as excited. Like, Dad, remember we went to that Gundam competition? Are we going again this year? Are you working on a Gundam for this one? I'm like, I'm not, but now I will for you.
I am. That's it.
I will for you, baby.
Now we just gotta get the ladies to enjoy the misses at home to enjoy the gunplay, and then we'll be all right.
Yeah, good
I
luck.
think everything, but it's perfectly balanced. It's perfectly balanced. But that's it, people. That is the good, the bad, and the ugly from the take of this episode, lengthy episode. But some stuff had to be addressed. If there was going to be a lengthy episode, it was
This is
going
gonna
to
be
be this. It wasn't going to be. Let's talk about P. Bandai. Like if we're going to stretch out an episode, boys, we're going to stretch it out with the community. So I hope everybody enjoyed. I hope everybody liked it. Let us know in the comments. We're not going to shy away from any comments. So let us know in the comments. What do you agree on?
Wait. I have a giveaway.
What?
Oh yeah, CD has a giveaway. Be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful.
If you can tell me the second book I read, I'll give away this.
And we're not we're not
That
posting
The
is
second book I read this year.
and for
First
those listening,
person.
that is the what?
the Shin Gundam, Shin Burning Gundam,
Burning
and that is
Gundam
Gundam,
Metaverse.
in the Metaverse series,
Gundam
which
Metaverse.
is a pretty good kit. Now you know
Ton of
what? Here's the
effects
rules:
parts. A ton of effect
first
parts.
person do it.
First
First
person.
person drop it. First
Yep.
person to drop it. First
In the
person to drop
comments.
that second book.
YouTube
Yeah,
comments. YouTube comments. First
YouTube
person drop it.
comments.
We can see who jumped it first. So
Yeah. We're not playing these games. We're not playing no Russian roulette. Yeah, that's it. We're not even going to announce this on Instagram. Hell, I didn't even know about this 10 minutes ago. I found out when y'all found out. So,
As you can see, I just put it out the stack. So
yep.
more surprise giveaways. Like we've been growing. People have been watching our videos. They've been commenting, and we appreciate all that shit. So I want to give back.
Thank you.
You made it this far in the video. You definitely deserve a giveaway.
If you've made it
It's
to
one of our
2
longer ones.
hours and 30
It's one of our longer ones.
Yeah. This
Yeah,
might be,
so-
if not the long. This might be the longest, right?
This
might
might
be
be
the
the
longest,
longest
yeah.
episode. This is
Yeah.
for sure the longest
far.
episode.
Don't forget to check out Vulcan Hobby. Use code Undergate10 and get 10% off your order. Shop small business. Don't forget to use Chloe's dad's code SMS Paints directly with. The link is going to be in the bio.
Link is in the bio. Get some paint, man. Paint.
Use Coop 10 directly with Gun Primer to save a little bit of money using the Gun Primer tools. Until the next time, people, be kind. Treat others how you want to be treated. See y'all in 168 hours. We're the Undergated, never underrated. Peace.
Hopefully next time you see me, I'll be a champion.